The foundational Black American lineage is making a lot of moves, moving the needle really fast, and is consistently under attack. So now we have a bunch of tethers who are out here trying to undermine our lineage or just dismiss our lineage, say we don't have any, and we're not going to let that happen.
The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Welcome, my brothers and my sisters, all right? This is your brother Afro Elite. We're going to have a good one this evening, all right? Thank you guys very much for listening. Thank y'all for your patience. Before we get started, it is Labor Day today. So, you know, a lot of people moving around. It's a lot going on. I had a lot going on today. I hope that you guys are with your family. I hope that you guys are safe. I hope that you guys have enjoyed your day, whether you guys have been off today, whether you guys have been working and making that money. I hope that you guys have been having a blessed day, my family. That's what I wanted to say when we start off. A little bit behind schedule, but tonight is going to be one of those. Okay, letting y'all know early, tonight gonna be one of those. If you guys need to, which you guys might, y'all might need to get a barf bag or something like that. Y'all might need to get some Tylenol, some of this Sam Bowen, this Tether babble, some of this cooning. I'm telling you guys, it's going to get to a point where y'all feel lightheaded. Just warning you, because I don't want nobody trying to be all like, Afro, you should have let us know. I'm letting you know right now. This is your warning right now, okay? Y'all want to get you might need to get a pillow or something to lay your head, because I'm telling you, it goes there. It goes there. It goes there. Sometimes to me, I'm sitting there watching the video, I had to stand up and pace around the room. That's how bad it got. All right. So I'm letting y'all know. It's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of those, but it's okay. It's Labor Day, so we got to start it off, and it's the first of the month, so we got to start off good. So let me know how y'all feeling. Everybody, first off, thank y'all for the pre-likes. Put a thumbs up emoji in the chat room. If we ready tonight, family, let's put a thumbs up emoji in the chat room. Let's get this started. Now, as y'all doing that, putting a thumbs up emoji in the chat room, liking, commenting, subscribing, all of that good stuff, all of that great things. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be playing the copyright disclaimer to establish to YouTube that everything we play thus forth is protected under the guise of fair use. All right. So that means all of the content we play is protected under the guise of fair use. And let me just repeat that, because I guess I got to do that now. So everything we play thus forth is protected under the guise of fair use. That's 3 times. All right, let's go. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Real quick, before we get started, I want to, because, you know, I consider you guys like, I take your opinion seriously. You know, I take your opinion seriously. I got a question just about the channel. Have a question. You know, I wear the glasses. And you know why I wear the glasses. I wear the glasses so Miss Niecy don't get mad. Y'all like the glasses, but the reason I really wear the glasses is so Miss Niecy don't get mad. The second I take the glasses off, I feel like she gonna get upset. So I don't want to make her upset. So I wear the glasses so she don't get upset. But there was a reflection with the glasses. So I got some new lights and stuff like that so I can try to end the reflection. That's I got some new lights so I can end the reflection. Let me know if you guys, so I bought some lamps and I've been kind of moving it around and stuff like that. So y'all let me know if you guys are like kind of like lighting, if you want it a little bit more dim or bright. I've been kind of like moving it around, seeing which one it is. I don't know why I'm doing it. I need to be asking y'all opinion about it. Need to be getting y'all things. So if y'all like it a little bit more dim or more lit, you know what I'm saying, y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all can let me know in the comments. Yeah, there's no I wanted to get rid of the glare. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, but it can be either dim or whatever. Okay. All right. Now before we do that, we got the this is something that we've been saying for the longest time. And we've been making a lot of comments about this, right? The lighting is good. Everybody likes it. We've been making a lot of comments about this for the longest time, about the difference between us and these Pan-Africanists. Okay. And when we say that, what we mean is not people, because when they say Pan-Africanism, what they are trying to say is that they mean people who just care about black people all over the world. Not really. That's not what the modern day Pan-Africanist is like. Even though that's what they claim to be like, that's not what they're like. They have this kind of pedestalization of the continent of Africa. And they have this demonization of America and black Americans. So they have this double standard as to where they put Africa and where they put the Caribbean. I mean, America. And the Caribbean as well, too. The Caribbean is also a part of that. So there's things that Africans can do and the Caribbeans can do that black Americans can't do. When it comes to gatekeeping, protecting their culture, being standing on their lineage and pushing their lineage, trying to protect and promote and empower their lineage. The continent can do that. The Caribbean can do that. But when we do that as foundational black Americans, it makes us the villain. This is the modern day Pan-Africanist, okay? They will use words like divisive. They will use words like xenophobic. They will use all of these things. Only when they're referring to us does these things make us the villain, all right? So let me play this clip for you guys. And this perfectly illustrates exactly what we're talking about and what we've been talking about for the longest time, all right? Look at this.
I'm gonna say it, and I don't care who get mad. FBA.
Hold
the
on.
reason why a lot of people like myself, what do y'all call us? Pan-African American or whatever it is.
What
The reason
is
that we
that?
don't. So I'm gonna say it, and I don't care who get mad. FBA. The reason why a lot of people like myself.
Okay, my fault, y'all. I didn't know I was gonna do all of that. It was taking a little bit of moments, so I'm gonna zoom it in. Okay, now according to this woman, she is a foundational black American. She is a black American, but she is also a proud Pan-Africanist. Okay, this is the problem. Let's take it back. I want to take it back from the beginning.
I'm gonna say it, and I don't care who get mad. FBA. The reason why a lot of people like myself, what do y'all call us? Pan-African American or whatever it is. The reason that we don't agree with y'all, and the reason that we're not becoming FBA is because y'all give the same energy as the oppressors did. No shade. Like, I don't know. It just give like colonizer energy. Like when I be reading some of y'all comments, it's like I'm reading no offense, but it feel like I'm reading a white Republican man's comment, and it be a whole FBA person, and I'd be like, well, damn. So the reason why y'all won't grow as big as I think that y'all could have grown is because of that reason and that reason only. Y'all give like oppressor energy. Y'all give like you want people to, y'all force people. It's not that y'all don't even educate people in the comments. It's like y'all just yell at people. So I don't think, that's why I don't think it'll be as big as it could have been. But I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong, because some of the stuff I'd be like, But me personally, with the type of person I am, I don't ever see myself becoming an FBA person, because I don't know. It's low key giving coat, y'all. It's giving coat. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna say it, and I don't care who get mad. FBA.
All right. Okay. It's giving cult. All right. So we got to break that down. Y'all, I told y'all it was going to be one of those. I already told y'all, so I don't want nobody to be like, Afro, I was not ready for all of this. It's too early. I already told you. I don't know what to tell you no more. I already told y'all what it is. So let's take this down. First off, foundational black American is a lineage. Okay. It's the name for a lineage. There is no membership. There is no entry and exit of that. Okay. You are either born that or you are not born that. That is it. That is all. That is final. There is no, well, I would have been an FBA, but I just don't like the way y'all, no, that doesn't happen. Okay. And they keep framing foundational black American as if foundational black American is like some group within the lineage. And they don't treat it, it's not respected and spoken of like them, from them, like it is a lineage, okay? because they don't ever say, well, you know, I would have been Jamaican, but I just don't like the way Jamaicans operate. So you know what? I decided not to be Jamaican. No, you're either a Jamaican or you're not a Jamaican. That's just what it is. You can't denounce your lineage. You can disagree. You can be a sellout. You can be whatever the case is, but you can't denounce it. Okay? Because your lineage is not something that you decide to do. Your lineage is just what is your ancestry. You can, even if you dislike it 100,000%, it's not something you decide. There are things in your life that you don't get a choice with, okay? You can't say, you know what? I don't like that woman to be my mom, so she's my mom. Guess what? That might be great when it comes to, I guess, pretend or whatever. But at the end of the day, only one person gave birth to you. That was that woman over there. Whatever your relationship with her, you can't say that I'm going to take the motherhood away from her and give it to her. Now I was born by you. Didn't happen. Doesn't work that way. Okay? Does not work that way. She can be like a mom. She can be whatever. She can't be the woman who gave birth to you. It's not up to you. Whoever is your father, you can't take the fact away that, yeah, you came from him, his seed. That's your father. You might not like it. It don't matter if you don't like it. That's the thing. Your lineage, our lineage is not something that we can turn on and turn off or exit and enter. It's not that. So it needs not to be framed that way. Then she goes on and she talks about how y'all could have gone better and been greater or whatever the case is if you guys wouldn't have such quote unquote Uncle Tom energy. That's what she says. Uncle Tom energy, right? Here's the thing. We're going to get to some Uncle Tom energy, but the thing is that regardless of us not having the stance that you would like us to have, you're still FBA. If you are FBA, if you're not, you're not. If you are, you are. That's it. Okay. We're not, you're talking about FBA could grow. FBA, no, FBA is a lineage. We're not trying to grow. Listen, we got to frame this correctly, family. We are not trying to grow FBA. FBA is a lineage. There, you can't, I mean, you can increase the number of FBA people. What we are trying to do, listen, is empower our lineage. Growing something doesn't automatically mean that it's empowered. Follow me. Because you can have a very big, large, huge number of a group of people, an ethnic group of people, but they can be subjugated, depowered, okay? They can be ostracized and oppressed. So it's not about quote unquote growing. It's about empowering. Are we empowering the lineage? Yes. It's either a yes or a no. Either you are, it's up or down. You are either empowering your lineage or the lineage is being depowered. It's up or down. That's it. We are empowering the lineage. No matter what you like, we might not be going in the direction you like, but the lineage is being empowered. No matter what you think, how you want to go, where you want to go, we're going. We're moving. Okay, so you just need to get that. That's it. What it is. That's what it is. Okay, that's what it is. We are empowering the lineage. Now, what's interesting also is that she uses, oh, we got a lot of big Uncle Tom energy, and it's so interesting because when we call out Uncle Tom energy, we can do that with FBA. FBAs, we can be called Uncle Toms, Sambos, sellouts, all of these. We can be called all of that stuff. But the second we call somebody a tether, that's crossing the line. That's divisive. That's xenophobic. What's Uncle Tom energy? Let me show you what some Uncle Tom energy. If we're going to go there, let's go all the way. Let's talk about some Uncle Tom energy, because the biggest Uncle Toms I see in modern day that got a platform that's speaking against Black people, that's working as collaborators, for white supremacy are tethers. These are people, most of the people you see with big platforms on YouTube, they got 100,000, 500,000, 1 million subscribers and all of this stuff. Most of the time, and especially when they're speaking against black people, they're tethers. For the most, especially the young ones. And we were just discussing that the last month. Talking about we got some Uncle Tom energy. Now she's not going to call him out. This Angolian tether, not going to call him out, but we the problem. And I want you guys to understand this is why, as far as the Pan-African thing, and we off that, because y'all are not about the solution. Okay, y'all want to pedestalize and coddle Africa to its own detriment. You're coddling a continent to its own detriment and to our detriment. I can't let that happen, y'all. I can't let that happen. We're just not doing that. You want to talk about some Uncle Tom energy, and this dude is cosplaying, sitting up there acting as if, or trying to portray himself as if he's a black American. Even to this date, he's still trying to do that. He's on different podcasts and stuff like that, and you got to hope, even though it's already known that he's a tether, they still are sitting up there parading this tether around as if he's FBA or can speak for FBA. Y'all seen this?
So I was scrolling on Twitter a couple of days ago, and I came across this episode of Jubilee. It's this kind of crazy website where 20 people scream at one person. And there was a activist by the name of Amanda Seals, and she was debating 20 black conservatives. Her position was what?
Her position essentially was that reparations were just and necessary. I mean, she's also now came out and said that black on black crime does not exist, and it's not something of any relevancy whatsoever. And essentially that, black people are being oppressed by white people, and this is why these sort of disparities exist.
What was your biggest opposition to what she said? Are you naturally very conservative?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am just naturally opposed to these handouts who really isn't going to fix any problem. Like I told her, if you hand every black person a $50,000 check in America, it isn't really going to increase the median household income by any significant amount in the next decade or two. It's not really going to change anything significantly. What we need to do is bring back the black nuclear family, stop the issues in reference to violence, in reference to gang crime, and then we can see some improvements. So this idea that handing people a check is going to change something radically is just, it's humorous.
Look, when y'all want to talk about some Uncle Tom energy, no, delineating is exactly what we need to do. Let's get this clear. First off, he's a child, 18. He's a legal adult, but he's ultimately a kid. But yet you see this kid get a platform to speak against the lineage. Okay, he's working as a collaborator against us and a spokesman. And now we're starting to see a lot of the damn collaborators that the dominant society has been using against us and to depower us is tethers. So the most logical thing to do is to be, you know what? The most common denominator, if they're foreigners, if they're tethers, then we need to call them out. We need to ostracize them. Doing that depowers them. Doing that takes their ability to do that away. That doesn't make us no Uncle Tom. See, you guys are not forward-thinking people. They're not. They don't think forward. They don't think that way. We know what we need to be doing, and what we need to be doing is correct. Because let her tell it, he's the same, he's a black man, and he gets to speak on black issues. No. If he was anywhere outside of America, not being from that lineage, he would not be able to speak on their issues. This Angolian tether would never be able to go to Haiti, Jamaica, Nigeria, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Kenya, anywhere else and speak on their behalf, ever. They would never do that. Name the last foreign president any of these nations had. Name them. Go ahead. I'm waiting. You can't. These people don't allow foreigners to come in and represent them ever. None of them have. Name one time any of them have. Name one time a foreigner has come into a country and that foreigner has become the president of that country without colonization. They've been elected to be the president without colonization. Okay? The people have done that without them being like implanted in there. All right? Those people don't let that happen. They don't let people just come up there and speak on their behalf. And we are finally starting to realize, hey, we got to stop doing that. We've been manipulated under the guise of this unified Pan-Africanism, and now we got to learn to stop doing that. This is why delineation is an absolute necessity.
Just didn't want to debate me. Like, there was a point where, like I said, redlining didn't exist to the extent that, you know, they tried to act as if it existed, and she didn't want to debate me right there. She kept threatening to quit debating a lot of people, like multiple different times during the break. I mean, it was insane. But I just thought, like, what is going on with this woman? Like, is she
okay? The whole redlining didn't exist the way they're trying to make it seem like it existed. Now, because the fact that we're bringing up redlining, where did it exist? How, what to what degree did it exist? Because you can't say that it didn't happen ever, but now they're trying to downplay the significance of redlining. And this is why we got to call them out.
Like, I don't know how that's a normal thing you can say to someone. Like, we're having a conversation, and someone makes an argument, and you are like, you know, speak to me as if I was your mama. Like, well, who says things like that? It's not a normal thing to say.
Okay, do you see that? Yeah, these tethers is out here acting wild. And this is why we got to delineate all of this. Man, y'all got a lot of Uncle Tom energy and y'all got a lot of Sambo energy. I'm telling you, you want to talk about some Sambos. You want to talk about some Uncle Toms. That's them coming over here, being the tether, doing all of that. Us, all of them, we know. Don't put that jacket on us. These are the people who've been preventing the progress from happening. Let's tell the truth. We're going to tell the truth and shame the devil tonight. All right, look at this. Now, I know a lot of you guys have seen the viral clip of him saying that foundational Black Americans don't have any culture. Let me go back, because he said some stuff before that. He's been saying things before that, and then even after that. So we're going to go in. We got to go in on this. This tether is, he's going viral for one clip. I got more than one clip. Okay, we're gonna go in on this. All right, but first I need y'all to hit that like button. Let's hit that like button. Let the algorithm know we in here, we popping, we deep, we locked in. Hit that like button, because boy, we got to break this stuff down. And I already told y'all might want to get some Tylenol. Y'all might want to get an ice bag to put on your head. You might get hot. I don't know. But we got to do it. We got to do it. So in this live, he's out here saying that racism does not exist. This is what he claims. He claims racism doesn't exist. All right.
You saw, you can remember, you even knew the girl. Where were you when you finally said, yes, today is the day I have sinned and I know racism? There's no such thing. You just don't want problems, so you just pick after the word and say, look, I'll go with it. Already, they've planted in your head the things you need to see and call them racism. That's how we do it.
Now, here's the thing. I want you guys to understand something, and understand this very, very, very. When they talk about how Africans come over here and are favored, a lot of these, and this isn't to say the entire diaspora. This isn't to say all Africans and Caribbeans. But the thing is that we have to understand that the system of white supremacy evolves. It changes. So it might be one thing one day, and then it might be another thing another day. Whatever best suits them, whatever is the most advantageous route to go down, they'll go down that route. So they used to use the Asian community as the model minority. let me get this completely off the screen so we can really connect right now. They used to use the Asian community as the quote unquote model minority. All right. We've been working to dispel all of the false information about the Asians being the model minority and them working hard and them pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. Because anytime they bring up the Asian community, then what do we say? Oh, that's very interesting that you brought up the Asian community. I like the fact that you brought up the Asian community. Every single time they bring up, well, the Asian community did this, every time flip it and be all like, you know what? Y'all gave Asians reparations. So if y'all want us to be more like the Asian community, y'all need to give us reparations. Since y'all saying that they're the model minority, they weren't the model minority prior to getting reparations, right? So if we're supposed to be like the model minority, then y'all need to give us reparations, because they gave the Asian community, really the Japanese, but they're Asian. So they gave the Asian community reparations, and we've been using, every time we say Asian, every time they say Asian, we say reparations, Asian reparations. We point out the disparities of the assistance and the handouts and stuff like that they've given the Asian community. A few years ago, y'all gave them a whole hate crime bill. We ain't got no hate crime bill. And we go through way more stuff than the Asian community does. And we don't have a hate crime bill, but y'all gave them a hate crime bill. So the fact that we keep doing that, it's like, damn, okay, they're calling out the damn handouts and the preferential treatment that we're giving to the Asian community. All right. So the Asians are not really as effective as a model minority, especially after affirmative action was overturned and then their enrollment started dropping. We've documented this on this channel. So now what? We're going to have a new model minority. We need to update. This is what the system of white supremacy has done. The system of white supremacy has pretty much removed and stopped speaking on the Asian community as a model minority. And now they're speaking on the Tethers as the model minority. The Tether class has become the new model minority. They used to be all like, well, if the Asians were discriminated and they got it, was holding y'all back. So now it's not really working that well. So now they're saying, well, hold on. If the Nigerians were discriminated and y'all were discriminated and they're doing better than y'all, what's holding y'all back? So now they've switched it. They still use Asians to a degree, but now they're using the Tethers and immigrants from the diaspora to be the model minority. Just like, and this is the mentality that you're seeing this Tether have and that you're seeing the Angolian Tether have. You're seeing a lot of them have the same mentality as far as being the model minority. All right. They like this type of behavior because this type of behavior is non-threatening to their power system. It's not. So he's going around having podcasts talking about how the black people have not experienced racism. Racism is made up. White privilege is made up. White supremacy is made up. Now listen to what he has to say. Y'all listen to this. I'm telling you, it get crazy. I had to pause it right here so we can go there. All right. But listen to this.
So are you saying that for someone like me, I remember being in school and I was at the park with my friends who was in middle school. And we were just playing on the swings, girl talk, and a young boy, probably much younger than we were, took a rock and threw it at us and called us niggers and then ran home. So as someone who, and I understood that I was the lightest or the most racially ambiguous among the group, but I got hit with the rock, right? And I felt like, oh, this is racism. Like, this is an experience that I didn't provoke, I didn't ask for. And we were so upset. We actually chased him to his house and knocked on his door. And a Puerto Rican man answered, oh, no, speak English.
Which grade?
Like,
Which grade were you?
I was in 8th grade at the time.
8th grade. All right. So you called the boy and asked him, and he said yes, because I was raised to be a racist, and that's why I threw the stone at you.
I didn't even get to speak to him.
Exactly. That's what the point I'm making. You see, because you've been told that if a white boy threw a stone at you, he's racist, and he calls you the N-word.
So you're saying,
but if Tupac had called you the same name, would you call him racist?
I guess I wouldn't, because he's black.
And you want to tell me in your neighborhood, black young boys at 14, 12 never throw stones at you and call you bitches?
Lord have mercy. Tupac, I'm sorry, Tupac. I'm sorry that your name is even being bought up in vain like this, Tupac. If Tupac wouldn't y'all, do y'all see this? Do y'all see the Tether babble? This is a clear example of, you assaulted somebody, you threw a rock at somebody, and you showed that your motivation of doing that was a racial motivation. By you throwing a stone at somebody, at a group of people, and then calling them a racial slur, you have just illustrated that the intent and motivation and cause of you assaulting a group of people was based off of racism, was based off of a racial hatred and bias. And then he's going to say, well, did he say it was? If so, according to him, you can call somebody the N-word, hard ER, and hit him with a brick, and unless he says, I did it because I'm racist, he's not racist. Why did he do it then? Why would he do it then? Now, this is very dangerous. This type of stuff is very dangerous because he'll be on the jury and he'll acquit a white cop of shooting down a black person. These are the type of tethers that they'll put on the damn jury and be all like, no, we have a black man. We have a black man on the jury. So, it's not racist. He just didn't see racism. He's trying to work his way to deny any and all racism. Bringing up Tupac. First off, Tupac would never throw no damn stone at no other black person, especially no black woman. Calling nobody no N-word. And if Tupac did, it wouldn't be white supremacy. That's the thing. And you're putting these people who really don't know how to retort to you. If I was to debate, I would clear he would have to wrap the whole podcast thing up. I would wipe the floor with him. All right. Most of y'all would wipe the floor with him. Anybody who has all of that would wipe a slight half a brain could wipe the floor with. I don't even know how old this woman is. All right. Talking about it wouldn't be white supremacy. It wouldn't be. You cannot racially subjugate your race. Can't happen. Can't happen. There needs to be some type of division and separation. Okay? White people cannot practice white supremacy on other white people. Did y'all know? The thing is that it's not white supremacy if they're all white. So this is why white people create even a hierarchy within white society. To be like, I'm white, but you're not really as white as me. An English person cannot practice white supremacy among another English person because y'all both equally white. This is why in white society, they always have the whole, well, I'm more white than you. There's a hierarchy there. So there can be a pecking order. There has to be a hierarchy for there to be a pecking order. In foundational Black American culture, there is no pecking order or hierarchy. We can't practice white supremacy, black supremacy, any type of supremacy, okay, among each other. That's a terrible example, but he's going above and beyond to deny racism in any bit. Now, he's not going to tell you why the boy threw a stone at her because he has no logical explanation of that. Now, we're going to play a little bit more, and then we're going to get to the next thing, the big thing.
Dude.
Okay, you said bitches, but not nigger.
Well, they don't call you niggas. They don't call you. You're all gay like a monkey. Your days, your mama. You don't do that. Black kids don't throw stones and call you names.
Typically, when we use the N-word, it's
fine. I understand that. Yes. So he learned it from you.
You know what I mean?
So he learned it from you. You use it as an endearment, and he's been endearing to his way of getting your attention because you're cute. But you decided to say because it's racism.
Do you see the tether, the tether babble? I've seen a lot of cute girls in my life. I never threw a brick at them. I never picked up a rock and threw it at her, hurled a rock at a bunch of girls because I wanted to get their attention because I thought they was cute. I never did that. Okay? The way he's trying to dismiss that, oh, he's using race, nigga as a term of endearment. No. We started doing that to take the power away. They were using it. When they use it, it's different. But you see the damn tether logic here. Do you see the tether logic? So all of this stuff, he's been making this and doing this stuff for a minute now. He's been doing a lot of this stuff for a minute. And these are the ones that they like to have over here. They love to have folks like him over here. Let me get you, hold on. Because now I want to get to the, why is it doing all that now? Now we're going to get to the big stuff. Oh, Lord, here we go. Are y'all hitting that like button? I hope you are. I hope y'all hitting that like button. Yo, let's hit that like button now. Okay, let me pull it up. See, it's about right. Okay, hold on. About right there. All right, hold on. Okay, so give you some context. Let me give you some context to this one. All right. So he was saying some things about Haiti. He was saying some things about Haiti and how the Haitian country is in the situation of the Haitian country. Listen. Then a Haitian woman, the woman who's on the panel now, she's Haiti. She's from Haiti. I said she's Haiti. She's from Haiti. She doesn't like that. She's talking about that. Well, okay, Haiti, you have to consider the fact that Haiti is oppressed and Haiti has been paying essentially reparations to the French. Okay. Haiti has been subjugated. He's going around talking about how Haiti is like pretty much saying that all black people are primitive. And I watched this whole thing from start to finish. A lot of people just watched the viral clip. I watched it from start to finish. Okay. I had a little migraine, but I was able to get it done. I watched it from start to finish, and I've been seeing the fact that he goes in, he pedestalizes Europeans. According to him, there was no society that was sophisticated before European colonization. And if it's not for Europeans, white people have to be in control. Otherwise, black people don't know how to run anything. This is what he's saying the whole time. The thing is like an hour long. He speaks about foundational Black Americans like 40 minutes into it. I saw the viral clip, then I saw a little bit after that. He believes that white people need to run the world because black people are too primitive. This is the things that he's saying. We farm, we fish, and we hunt, and they build societies. These are his words. He is a massive lover to the highest degree. He believes that white people are closer to God. This is what he believes, and that they should run the world. So he was speaking on Haiti and saying that Haitians cannot get it done because Haitians are not intelligent enough to run a country. This is what he's saying. So that offended this Haitian woman. This Haitian woman he invited her on a platform. So they're having a dialogue about why Haiti is the way Haiti is. And he's talking about a quote unquote culture. And then he's talking about, then that segues into speaking about all different nations where black people are at. Then he starts to bring up foundational Black Americans. So I'm letting you all know this now about this is what he does. All right. And he brings on people who don't really have the historical knowledge, okay, and the intellectual wit to be able to respond to what he says and to break down what he says, the comprehension to break down and respond and give context to what he's saying. All right. I don't want to just throw y'all into anything. I want y'all to understand exactly where we're at. Okay. So Y'all not just being thrown into it. So I'm going to play it back a little bit before he goes on about Foundation Black Americans so you can actually understand the context. That's very important.
And you and I did it, and you quickly went and you came back and educated me. 19 regions in the whole world has ever invented alphabet. You knew it. You researched it, and you came and educated me.
Yes, but
okay,
hieroglyphics.
It's not an alphabet, please. It's pictures.
Yes, it is pictures.
Anybody can interpret that one picture in different people's language. The guy made a wing and a cloud. You decide what it says. I don't know what he saw before
It's
he
open
did it.
to
So it's not an
interpretation.
alphabet, please. Let's put
Okay.
that aside. So clear. You see, please, I am trying to solve problems for Black people. But the way to do it is to stop having conclusions and excuses. Is to begin to ask a lot of questions about who we are, especially when it comes to the creation of countries. Africa today, countries were just handed over to people, something that they never created. Even the tribes who live in it would never, in God's world, ever see eye to eye. Here they are today, and they are trying to run that thing. And yet, they have never had in their history the concept of democracy, socialism, communism, feudalism. All these are foreign concepts. No Black country has created an authentic political system that has a name. None. No Black country on Mother Earth has created an economic system that is used today in somebody else's country. Never. But you've just embraced all these things, thinking that, oh, if they can use it, I can use it also. It's not true. We are causing our people to suffer because we are not sophisticated enough to understand that what we did was wrong. There is nothing honorable in asking for independence that you can't do anything with it. There is nothing honorable or valuable in asking for freedom. You don't have the foundation on which it can grow.
Okay. I wanted y'all to we got to play this back. Or I wanted to go back. And I'm speaking low because I'm so serious right now. I want to be 100% legit, like super serious with you. Okay. What this man is saying, and this is why I gave it to you guys before. What this man is saying is that there's nothing honorable about independence. There's nothing honorable about asking for freedom unless you have the quote unquote foundation. Notice that word is being used a lot. The foundation to do something with that. Okay. So what he's really trying to say, what he's cementing is that we should have stayed slaves. If you guys go back and listen to what he's saying in the whole thing, I'm not going to play it for you guys because I don't want y'all to have a super high hospital bill. But if you guys go back and listen to what he's saying that Black people need to be under European rule because the mind of the Negro is not sophisticated enough. That's what he used the word sophisticated. We're not sophisticated enough to control a political system, to control an economic system, to control a democracy. That's what he is saying. He is thinking as if white people came from heaven and has civilized a bunch of primitive, almost beast-like people. And you don't think that these tethers are a problem? You don't think that these tethers who are given platforms and will go over there and then next thing you know, they will, with that type of mentality, you already can imagine the type of work that he uses to undermine what we got going on. Okay. You can already imagine that. The type of stuff that he uses to undermine what we have going on. I'm telling you, and this is when we talk about as far as and we're going to get into culture. We're going to get into culture. But this is one of the things that's different from our culture to their culture. Okay. Because we don't have a culture of surrender and acquiesce and being defeated and being subjugated and thinking that we're just less than Europeans. That's not our culture. We're going to get into that, but I want you guys to understand he's coming from the mindset of we belong to Europeans because we need them. That's something that foundational Black Americans have always established, rooted deep within our culture. We don't need Europeans. They need us. That's the difference. Let's let him go. Let's let him go.
Well, I mean, I would.
See, and this is now, mind you, she's Haitian. It's not like she's foundational Black American. She admitted that she's Haitian or whatever. I'm not sure where she's from. I think she said she had a degree or something like that. But she could have stood on business way more than that. Like, she seems so ill-informed. I was sitting up there, I watched the whole thing, and I was all like, man, you could have easily said this. You could have easily said that. What are you doing? Like, why are you acting? Okay, all right.
Ask for freedom because I don't want anyone abusing me.
And you become useless. You become a slave again because you have no foundation. See, African Americans ask for civil rights, but they didn't have a foundation on which it can germinate. See, things you ask, especially.
What do you mean it didn't have a foundation for it?
They have no culture, they have no language, they have no history, they have no ethnicity, they have nothing.
Yes, they did. They came here with their culture. They came.
Who is they?
Okay. Okay. We have first off, and this is why we got to stand up for everything. As far as the civil rights movement, his ass is in America, and the only reason his damn Tether ass is in America is because of the civil rights movement, is because of the work we've done, is because of us. That's the literal only reason. That's the reason he's over here, is because of the work we've done. Talk about we don't have no culture, we don't have no language, we don't have no this, we don't have no that. First off, yeah, we do. Yes, we do. We have all of these things. Now, watch when she says, because just instinctively, she's all like, no, that doesn't really make that much sense. That doesn't really make sense. And then he goes on. This is why first off, the conversation was talking about Haiti. And then he goes in to throw foundational Black American culture under the bus, knowing that, first off, if she's not informed on her own Haitian history enough to defend his Tether babble, then she's damn sure not going to be informed enough on FBA history to retort his Tether babble. So he thought, oh, this is a good way to throw a shot. I can throw foundational Black Americans under the bus, because if she can't defend Haiti, she damn sure can't defend FBA. So I'm going to say it. She's going to look starstruck and confused. No offense, but that is what happened. If she's listening, come on. That is what happened. She's not going to know what to say, and it's going to make me seem, it's going to validate what I said to be true. Now look at her response, and then we're going to get into it.
The different African tribes.
Different African tribes. So whose culture is going to be the main culture?
No, we don't have a bunch of different African. Listen. Okay. We don't have a bunch of different African tribes, which is why the term African American, we stopped using that term African American, because we understand that term has become used against us. Okay. That term has become used against us. So it's good. I want y'all to pat yourselves on the back, because we ain't been using the term African American, and we've been seeing the effectiveness of not using that term. Okay. Let me show. There was another clip. Let me find it real quick of somebody saying that. If I can scroll through, if it come up, it come up. If it don't, it don't. About us using the term foundational Black American. Where is it? Where is it? Well, I don't see it. We're not a bunch of African tribes. Sorry, I couldn't find it on Twitter. We're not. We're foundational Black American. Our culture is a foundational Black American tribe. That is it. That is all. This is not, well, what is our African tribes? No. We had an ethnogenesis. Okay. Our ethnicity has started with America. Our culture is America. America is our culture. Now, white supremacy is beyond America and it pre-exists America. That's not our culture, but our culture is American culture. When you think of American culture, you're thinking of foundational Black Americans. So when you say we don't have a culture, the reason why a lot of them have said this is because they have viewed us as a bunch of lost Africans, which is why we got to stop with the whole African American thing and referring to ourselves as if we're lost people who have no nation. No, this is our nation, the nation we built. And we got to stand on that, because she's going to be all like, yeah, the lost tribe. Let me be up there. Talk about, no, our culture is this nation, the nation that you're seeking refuge in, the nation that you fled to, the nation that you live in, the nation that's better than the nation that you were at before. Otherwise, your black ass would have been there. Our nation is here. Our culture, hold on. Our culture is saving your ass. That's our culture. Our culture is saving the damn day. Okay. That's our culture. Why are you talking about we don't have who had no foundational black Americans? This is our culture right here. Let's go. We're gonna continue. We're gonna continue. Because I'm gonna let him just go off and say what he gotta say, and then we're gonna clear the board. We're gonna clear the board of all this babble.
So with time, it became Ebonics. Nobody has anything. They are now still using 2 English names. They are now having only Christianity as their religion. They can remember their history, culture, traditions, customs. So you have no foundation, is what I'm trying to say. African Americans in this country are the only groups. They have no culture. It depends on who you meet with.
Oh, hold on. Culture, no. And see, this is why we got to get the definition of culture correct. Let's get the definition of culture straight and correct. Let's do that. Culture, let's put this up here. Culture, and this is the simplest, easiest way culture can be defined. All right. Culture is a societal concept that encompasses the beliefs, conduct, very important. Those 2 words are very important. The beliefs and the conduct, arts, language, and traditions that is collectively permitted and or practiced by a group of people. All right. So culture changes, culture evolves, culture shifts. Religion can be a part of culture. Religion is not a culture, though. We don't have to have our own unique religion. There are certain religions that are practiced around the world. You're not going to say a religion has to be unique to an ethnicity. Okay, a language. There are languages that are spoken around the world. You wouldn't say a language has to be unique to an ethnicity in order for it to be considered a culture. You wouldn't say that. But this is, and she don't know the definition of culture, so she can't stand on anything. So what he's going to say is culture is a bunch of things that because we don't have ownership of, or because this stuff has been given to us, we don't have a culture. I'm gonna let it play, okay, and then we're gonna have to break it down. I'm gonna take it back a couple seconds, actually.
Communism, feudalism, all these are foreign concepts. No black country has created an authentic.
But currently, there's not an African American culture.
No.
Yes, there is.
What is it? Name 2 value systems in the African American culture.
Name 2 value systems in the African American culture. Okay. I'll give you 2 value systems. Okay. Our number one value system is unity. That is our number one value system in our culture. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with unity. There's absolutely nothing wrong with unity. Unity is great. Unity is good. Okay. Unity is righteous. There is absolutely nothing wrong with unity. As long, now here's the problem. Let me follow it. The problem is that it is righteous, but it needs to be disciplined. It needs to be controlled. It cannot be blind. We have had blind unity, okay, where we want to blindly unite with everybody. There's nothing wrong. It's a righteous thing. Unity can be a righteous thing if it is not blind, if it is guided correctly. What we're learning is that we have suffered through the consequences of this blind unity. And we've been under the guise of, well, any quote unquote person of color we should unify with. And we have not had proper discernment about our unity. So now we're circling the wagons and we're saying, you know what, all of this blind unity that we've been having, we need to home in on that. Okay. And we cannot continue to go forth with this unity. There is no other ethnicity in the world that has tried to reach out and unify with other people like we have. There's no other group of people in the world that has helped each other, not ourselves, not different tribes. Everybody else is tribal. Everybody else is national. We've been the only people who've all like, hey, Harriet Tubman even. I escaped slavery and I'm going back to the plantation knowing it's a high chance I could be caught, but I'm going there to free other people. That is unity. Nat Turner going from plantation to plantation and freeing different slaves. That is unity. I don't know him, but under the guise of unity, we are connected. Okay. The Maroons fighting and the burning down plantations. All of this under the guise of we are together and we are unified together. The civil rights movement. We might have different religions. We might have different backgrounds. We might have different social incomes, but we are unified together. Unity is. The only thing is, which is good that we're changing now, is that unity cannot be blind. We cannot just unify with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. We can't do that. And we learned from that. Which is why we're starting to specify and use more specific terms, which is why we don't use the people of color. We don't use that term no more, which is why we don't use the term black and brown. We don't use that term no more. We're not just blindly unifying with anybody. Our unity is powerful when it is selective. Do you follow me? That's when it's powerful. So now we are understanding that, okay, well, now we need to unify as far as the lineage together. And even that, we understand that even if we're unifying in the lineage, we still have to have a code of conduct in the lineage. We still have to have a screening process and rules and regulations for even our own lineage. Because we understand that all skin folk ain't kinfolk. We got our Uncle Toms out there. So even among our own lineage, where we're very unified and really culturally unified, we understand that even still we can't have complete blind unity under our lineage. That's number one. Our unity is a cultural value. Our unity is also coupled with our resistance against white supremacy. Those two things go hand in hand. Okay. These are pairs. These are two peas in a pod. All right. These two things go hand in hand. Our unity and then our resistance and our fight for justice. Our fight against oppression and subjugation, which is why when you look at the system of white supremacy and you look at the group of people, the ethnicity, the lineage of people who have been the most consistent and persistent about its dismantling, it's been us. It's been me. It's been you. It's been our ancestors. So our unity and then our fight for justice, our strive for justice, our strive to end oppression and subjugation. All right. This is our, and those are only two, but these are the two things that make us unique and different among anybody else. The fact that when we see white supremacy, we will call it for what it is. And we are the ones who are not scared to call it for what it is. We are the ones who are persistent in calling it what it is. We are the ones who dislike any of it, not just the ones that happen here. We've been the ones who've been sitting up there fighting for Africa. Okay. With the apartheid in Ethiopia and all of this stuff. We've been the ones protesting for that. We've been the ones protesting and allowing safe haven for other groups of people to come in because we understand what the Western powers has done to them. That's been us. These are two strong, unique, powerful, righteous cultural values that don't exist anywhere else. Not nearly to the degree it exists here. It don't exist where his ass came from. Otherwise, his ass would be there. But his ass is over here, bothering us because of our unity, which is why we got to stop this blind unity thing, which is why we are delineating. This is why. Okay. Can I add an extra one? Can I do that? Can I add an extra one real quick, family? Another thing that is very important as far as our cultural value is adaptability. Okay. We're very flexible when it comes to our situation. We adapt very well when it comes to our situation. We know how to read a room, and we know what we need to do and what we not need to do. Okay. We're fluid like water. Okay. Water shifts and it changes. If you put water in a river, it will start bending to the river. If you put water in a cup, it will be the shape of a cup. You put water anywhere, it's water changes. Water adapts. Water can be solid, like ice cube. Water can be something that is liquid, something that you can swim into. That can be liquid. Water also can be something you can't really physically touch. Water can be steam. Water can be vapor. That's one of the things that we're doing. We're very adaptable people, and we've adapted and adjusted to our environment, which is why another one of our cultural values is starting to understand that we need to adapt and learn and upgrade from what our other two cultural values are, or our other cultural value is. So we've adapted past the blind unity thing. We've adapted. This is why we've been able to make it out of slavery. This is why we've been able to make it out of Jim Crow. This is why we've been able to make it out of civil rights. To right here, right now, where everybody else is benefiting from. We've been able to do that because we can adapt. We can read a room. Let's continue.
Yes. Name 2 taboos in the African American culture system. Name 2 traditions, by the way, in the.
Okay, I already named 2 traditions. Let me name 2 taboos. 2 taboos. Okay. I'm trying to be unique here. Because of now, I already gave you cultural values. Okay, cultural values, taboos. One of the biggest taboos that we have in our culture is, pause for dramatic effect, being a sellout. That is one of the biggest taboos that we have in our culture. Do you understand that? Let me elaborate on that. Okay. Our ethnogenesis started with slavery. Okay. We understand that we're on a plantation. We're working and we're trying to make it out of the plantation, but there was always a few sellouts. It was always somebody willing to throw us under the bus. It was always that. We understood that we need to separate that. Okay. We can't have a culture that empowers themselves if we have sellouts in the culture. Okay. Harriet Tubman understood that, hey, I got to get this shotgun because there might be some sellouts who stop me, who are willing to sell out the rest of the group for their own personal benefit, which is why culturally we have terms like sellout. That came from us. Sellout, Sambo, okay, coon, all of these terms, even uncle, all of these terms, Uncle Tom, the term tether, that's a cultural thing because we ostracize people who are collaborators. Nobody else does that. We've been the ones to do that. We've been the ones fighting for that and making sure that that happens. Okay? Not being a sellout. And that goes hand in hand with our tradition as far as unity and community. All right. Another taboo that we have in our culture. Okay. We have a taboo in our culture of respecting each other and not disrespecting each other. Okay. Treating each other fair and assisting. All right. Not being a disrespectful person. That's a huge taboo in our culture. All right. I can go on and on about the things that we don't do and tolerate in our culture. These are things that we don't do and tolerate in our culture at all. Let's. He says, name 2 traditions. Traditions is, you can say traditions. Let's be honest. Our tradition, honestly, looking good. Let's be honest. We got a tradition of looking good. We have a tradition of education. Whether we have the permission or not, we were the only, you want to know about a tradition and a value, education. Do you understand that there's been slavery around the world? I want y'all to follow me. There's been slavery around the world. Let me say that one last time. There's been slavery around the world. And the United States of America was unique in the fact that they said, if a slave knew how to read, kill him. That's a unique American thing. They were not doing that all over the world. It was an American thing where they were all like, you know what? If they know how to read, kill them. Because that's going to cause a problem. And even under the threat of death itself, we still snuck and learned how to read. We still had people learning how to read and then teaching how to read. Education is a cultural value that we have and a tradition that we have. Okay. Another cultural value or tradition that we have, honoring people, paying homage to people, showing respect to people. And I'm not talking about deities and things that you worship. I'm talking about people. I'm talking about people who laid stepping stones and the foundation for you and has sacrificed for you. Do you want to know where Memorial Day came from? Y'all know where Memorial Day came from. Memorial Day came from us. Memorial Day came from the fact that we wanted to pay homage. We wanted to show respect, something that was not being done before. There was not a holiday to show respect to fallen soldiers who sacrificed themselves for the greater good of the collective. We had the ones doing that. Then Memorial Day came, and then guess what happened after Memorial Day? Labor Day. Today is our tradition. We don't get credit for it, but today is our tradition. There would have been no Labor Day had we not set that up and started showing the country that we needed to pay homage to people who have served. We needed to pay homage to people who have sacrificed. This is what we do. People who are honorable, all right? This is a cultural value that they don't have, which is why they can go around, these tethers can go around to different places in different countries and be so disrespectful because their culture doesn't have respect. Their culture isn't about showing respect to people who have sacrificed for you and who have benefited for you and who have fed you and clothed you, okay, and gave you a place to seek refuge. That's not their cultural value. That's our cultural value, which is why it's so foreign to so many of us, or at least it was in the beginning. It was so foreign to us that they don't have respect. It was almost incomprehensible to us that they don't have respect. We're sitting up there like, I would never go outside of America and disrespect the natives. We couldn't comprehend that because that's not our culture. So they're coming over here not showing any respect for the civil rights movement, for slavery, for the things we do today. They're not showing no respect for nobody. They're undermining us out of disrespect, hatred, jealousy, and vitriol. It took us a minute to even get to this point where we can really understand how they're doing this because it's so foreign to us. Because we don't do that to nobody else. Name FBA Candace Owens outside of America that goes around and subjugates them. Name our version of a Wes Moore. Name our version of a Brian Donalds. Name our version of that Angolian tether called himself Matt Nuclear. Name our version of a Myron Gaines. You can't. You cannot do that. Why you can't do that is because our culture doesn't allow that type of person to exist. Their culture does. Because they don't have a culture of showing respect, having respect for people that even respect for people you don't know, but having respect for people who have done things for you.
African American culture system.
But we still gotta continue because there's still more we gotta go into.
Okay, forget it. Name 2 customs in the African American culture. Look, I'm being serious.
No, but I mean, I'm thinking about it.
Yes, there is no value for freedom if you don't understand what it is. The concept of free. You have to have a foundation on which it would balance when you ask for it. Civil rights, they give it to you. You have no culture. Nancy, you've been here, born here. Why would you be surprised if I say African Americans don't have a culture? What, twerking? So anything
Okay, now what's interesting is that people, first off, twerking is, regardless of what you think, twerking is a dance. Twerking is a dance. It's a form of shaking your butt. Do you know how long people have been shaking their butt? A very long time. And none of that stuff gets demonized and pathologized outside of Black American culture. None of that stuff. Because they be shaking their ass all through the continent, from the top to the bottom and everything in between, all over the Caribbean. They've been doing that. They do that in Asia, where it's some form. They don't really get ass like that, but they be doing belly dances and stuff like that. None of that stuff is seemed as if it's some type of less than thing. None of that stuff is seemed as if that's some type of a thing that's, the word is slipping my mind. I apologize for that. None of that stuff is seen as if that's some type of degenerate. That's the word. It's not a degenerate thing when anybody, no dance form is ever seemed or framed as if it's a degenerate thing. Whether that's belly dancing, whether that's some type of stepping, whether that's some type of twerking, whether that's some type of anything, and if it's not outside of Black America. Okay, what, twerking? Yes. Oh, if you want to say that, yeah, okay. And what? And what about it? What's wrong with that? What's wrong if somebody you twerking? Y'all got a lot of twerking. What's wrong with that? Yep, a foundation Black Americans in our community, the women twerk. It is what it is. That's cool. That's fine. Y'all can go now. Of course, there's a time and a place for that, and we understand that there's a time and a place for that. But yeah, people twerk, people dance. Okay. You're not going to come over to our community and make it seem like this is some type of degenerate thing, but you're not going to go anywhere else in the world and make their dances seem like that's some type of degenerate or primitive thing. No, we're not going to do that. No. Our sisters can twerk if they want to. I'll say it like that. Now, of course, there's times and places for that. So when we see somebody twerking at a school, we know that's not appropriate. But if they're doing that at a party or a club, all right, that's a dance. It's a dance. There are certain dances that everybody does. Okay. There's dances everybody does. They twerk in Africa. Y'all don't try to make them seem as if Africa is degenerate for twerking. Oh, that's tradition. It's tradition when they do it. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And she don't know. And this is the thing. You bringing this non-FBA woman up here. If she can't defend Haiti, she can't defend our culture. If he would have said twerking to me, I would say, yep, that's one of them. We got a lot of different dances, but that's one of them. That's something that we do. And what's wrong with that? Then what? Then what? He wouldn't have been able to say anything. She can't say anything because she's not FBA. She don't know what to say.
I feel like African American culture has definitely
you say
mainstream.
No, you say the word, the African American culture. What is it? Okay,
fine. Like hip hop. Oh, not hip hop. I mean, I don't want to. Yes, I feel like
you haven't thought about it. It's fine. Don't make things up.
I'm not making it up.
Okay,
I feel like
then educate me. You feel, you should know, you were born and raised here.
Yes,
but she's not FBA. She could be born and raised in America, but if she's Haitian and was raised in a Haitian family, she understands Haitian history. She is not going to be the expert of foundational Black American history and culture. If I was born, if I was born in Haiti and grew up and was raised in Haiti, I wouldn't be an expert of Haitian history and culture, not nearly enough to represent them. They would not respect me representing them. So no, all of that, well, you were born here, you were raised here. No, she don't count. She doesn't count.
Are you African American?
I'm Haitian American.
That's correct. Do you see why you were being specific with that? Because anybody who encounters you already knows you before. If they know you are Haitian, at least two things comes to their mind.
What is that?
If they've been to Haiti, they can look at work ethics and they say, yes, Haitians, I know them. Service industry, they know where they do well. Food, they can say yes. And even language, Creole.
Right.
And they can say, oh, I love Haitians.
Mm-hmm.
Because they saw the culture in abstract before they encountered you.
Mm-hmm.
So people go.
Okay. And see, this is the thing that we got to stop. And this is the thing that, because Pan-Africanists have allowed this to go on for way too long. All of the things that he just described, work ethic, food. Okay. Food can be, because food, if we go into the definition of culture again, because the thing is that food encompasses the conduct, what people do, their traditions, what people eat. What people eat is a part of their culture. Okay. Now it can be it's also very tied to a part of their environment. If a certain food doesn't grow in a certain place, you're not going to eat it. Clearly. But why is food, quote unquote, work ethic, why is that stuff acceptable to be deemed as culture for Haiti, but it's not culture for FBA? Okay, have you guys noticed that? He gave a couple of very simple, basic examples and said, see, that's culture for Haiti. Yet, when it comes to FBA, we can have the same things, but he's going to say that's not culture. He went out of his way to dismiss and undermine and belittle any chance of culture we got. And then he's going to give them something as basic as food. See, food is culture. Y'all have a culture. Damn, we don't got no food. There's no food in the Black community. We don't got no food. We don't got no culture. We don't got no work ethic. Are you serious? And see, this is where we got to stop this double standard of the goalpost being moved. The goalpost of culture is always moved and shifted when you're referring to foundational Black Americans and juxtaposed to other groups of people. Okay? Culture can be food if it's Haiti, but culture can't be food if it's Black America. Okay. Work ethic is culture if it's Haiti, but work ethic isn't culture if it's Black America. Music is culture if it's Haiti, but music isn't culture if it's Black America. So damn, y'all are allowing them to get away with things and saying that all of the things that they do, all of their customs is culture, but you go out of your way to dismiss all of that stuff, belittle all of that stuff, sweep all of that stuff under the rug if it's Black America. And foundational Black Americans are not tolerating that no more. I'm not going with that no more. Don't let nobody do that. Because then be all like, okay, what's your culture? What's your culture? And then tell me how that's a culture for you and that counts for you, but it doesn't count for us. And the reason why they do that is because deep down, our culture's better. It's better than his. It is. And listen, it might be like, Afro, why you ain't gotta really say that. I do have to say that. I have to say that. Our culture is. Because the second he brings up something that would make him culture, our food is better than his food. It is. I don't care what nobody says. Well, yeah, well, in our culture, no, our food is better than his food. Our food is global. People all around the world make our food, eat our food, try our food. People don't know nor care about his food from his land. Okay? Our music is our culture. Music is his culture. Our music is better than his music. People all around the world know our music. Know our music down to the damn music artists. People all around the world knew who Michael Jackson is. Know who Michael Jackson is. People all around the world know who Beyonce is. People all around the world know who these people are. They don't know who he is. Or artists in his culture. They don't. There's nothing that he can say is culture that we don't beat him on. Let me take this back, y'all. The reason why they want to dismiss the fact that we have a culture, I want y'all to listen, okay? If y'all watching me on the TV, I want you to turn your TV up. If you guys are listening to me on your phone, I want you to put your phone close to your ear and listen to me. The reason why they try to dismiss our culture is because when you take our culture and take their culture and compare the two, our culture wins 10 times out of 10. And they all know this. They know there's not a category within our culture, as far as our beliefs, as far as our traditions, as far as our taboos, as far as our food, as far as our music, as far as our art, as far as our language, as far as the games that we play, as far as our work ethic. There's absolutely nothing, no category of culture, beliefs, tradition that they can compare their culture to and say that their culture is even equal to. Our culture beats their culture in every avenue, in every category, within the system of value and the system of recognition. This is why we are the most replicated culture. Everybody else steals from our culture. Everybody else takes from our culture. Everybody wants to be us. This is why they're coming over here trying to destiny swap. This is why they're coming over here trying to destiny swap with us. Because everybody wants to be us. They're not trying to destiny swap with them. They don't want to be like him. He don't want to be like him. That's why they say, oh, you don't have a culture. You don't have a culture. No, because you don't want us to compete in the race. Y'all don't even want us to be in the race. Because there is no race. It's not. It's not a race. It's not a competition. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. Let me get to some of the super chats. Because we in here. We are in here. Let me get to some of the super chats. Omar says, hold on, because there's still some more stuff. We gotta go. Omar says, many African men think like Zanu. That's why their country is let me zoom in a little bit. That's why their country is destabilized. Yeah, let's be honest. He's just a pawn that corroborates white racism. Yeah, hey, that's true. Okay. Your Mia says, part of our culture is giving Tethers this work. Hey, come on now. Come on now. I like that one. That's part of our culture. Jedi Sage, and thank you for that. Jedi Sage says, for the cause, FBA, we have the strongest culture: music, dance, dress, shoe, hairstyle. Hairstyle, inventions that help the world. One tribe here. Okay, FBA, let's be honest. Come on now. Omar again, he says Zanu is projecting his own failed tribalism. He is. A lot of them are, because a lot of them are insecure. A lot of them don't want us to step in the ring. Because they know when they compare their stuff to our stuff, we're the only people who got points on the board. They don't want us to count. We're the only people who are doing anything. What has his culture provided for the world? Nothing. 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 Our culture is the ones who've been saving the world. We've been the only ones for the last half a millennia, the hundreds of years who've been saving everybody. His culture has done nothing but be saved. We are the saviors. They are the ones who've been saved. Okay? There's no competition. We're the heroes. You're the people we catch. That's it. You have no right to criticize us. Is this being boastful? Yeah. That's also a part of our culture too, you know. Yeah. You know, having a little bit of ego mixed with some humor and swag and stuff like that. That's a part of our culture too. We talk big, we talk big mess. Yeah, that is a part of our. You want to know our culture? That's our culture. We're the heroes. We're the saviors. You're the citizens that we've saved. You ungrateful little citizens. Okay, that's what we are. Talk about our culture like that. Don't let it, hell no. Okay. I think that's I'm gonna just say Eve, I believe that's how it's pronounced. The disrespect was enough. FBA culture is adopted globally. It is. That's very true. It's adopted globally. Jimmy, thank you, Jimmy, for your super chat. Eddie, thank you very much for your super sticker. Jedi Sage, we're gonna get to this one, then we're gonna get back to it. YT Gen Z claims AAV, okay, African American vernacular as their language. It stands for African American vernacular. It should be BAV, Black American vernacular. Anyway, making a claim to our frame and name. Yeah, they always do that. They do that. Okay, let's get back to it because there's still more. We gotta go. We gotta go some more. I appreciate y'all's support. Y'all know I do. Y'all know I do. I appreciate that. All right. Then this Tether. Okay, because we've had enough of that. And this is why you cannot have people represent. She's not saying anything. She don't know what to say. She don't know what to say. She doesn't know what to say. Okay. But look. Then he brings up this other person, non-FBA. Okay, I'm going to play this clip. Where's it at? Okay.
I don't know either. Okay, so hold on. What I'm trying to say is not to do with the language.
But the language is the culture.
But wait, I'm trying to.
Hold on. Let me find it.
You see,
y'all hit that like button.
I have some credibility. I was born in a traditional culture.
Hold on. Oh man, why did it do like that? Let's put this up on the screen for y'all.
Okay? All right. And I lived with my grandfather and was raised in the wisdom of after it was over. We don't want to integrate or even assimilate. Give us Aichi, the largest prefecture where, and they call them Zainichi, which is the second Koreans. They don't join the army, they don't vote, they don't participate in any of those things.
They're Koreans inside of Japan.
That's correct.
Unto themselves.
Yes.
And do you think that has to do with the fact that they still have remnants of themselves enough to grab hold of and rebuild from there?
What would that be?
Cultural remnants of themselves, like for example their language, like for example their spirituality.
They call themselves.
Do you think that those things had anything to do with their ability to now rebuild themselves as Koreans?
So then, if you know what you lost, why didn't the African Americans?
No,
yes.
You're not answering my question.
Okay, now hold on. Let me take this back. This was a little faster. Okay, a little bit farther. Because now he's talking about Asians and the way Asians were able to build themselves because they have quote unquote culture and we don't. So I'm a little bit ahead. I'm gonna take it back a few minutes. Okay. Really gotta take it back like right here.
Absolutely nothing. And Mr. Yaba, if we continue scaring our children that something is holding you down, something is wrong, no wonder we are not helping our young ones, because by the time they turn 12 and get out of, we are told that there's a system that is holding you down. Why would this kid have the impetus at all to say, let me work hard and cooperate with society? Because you know what? If I fail, Oh, they will make an excuse that it is the system that made me fail, not me. We got to stop it. I have shown you too many examples around the world. The reason the American slave and the American experience is still alive is because it's the only place on earth where former slaves have a different skin color. That reminds them every day that something or somebody is doing something. The one person, the one group of people, American government will do everything to protect in this country is black people. Please ask me.
What? What? Now notice he keeps saying this to people who are not FBA. He don't want to have no solid FBA up there. He's sitting up there talking about our culture, and he don't even have the manhood and the dignity. He's too much of a coward to actually speak to someone who knows what they're talking about. Talking about America's only protective. This is a coward. And this is why his homeland is in shambles.
Why? That's how the conversation is progressing. I can explain to you. America is a capitalist country, which means capitalism does well with consumers. You create a large class of consumers, those who love to use material things to show off. And boy, come November 7th, Black Friday, go to the mall across this country and see the purchasing power of black people. This country will be stupid enough to want to destroy that class. No, they will feed them and keep them alive so they can buy Nike, Samsung, iPhone 16, wheels on your car, long hair, nails. Every retail in this country relies. Mayweather has 39 cars. You will not destroy that powerful consumer class. This is why I know, no, Africa have not discussed the real problem. The excuses we're making would continue to delay the solution.
And what's the real problem?
Now, the whole thing about us being a consumer class, and I don't like this because a lot of people are disingenuous, either ill-informed or disingenuous, too ill-informed or disingenuous to have an honest and fruitful conversation about this. A lot of people talk about, well, black Americans, y'all got trillions of dollars in debt, y'all trillions of dollars in spending, y'all waste your money. Okay, here's the thing. There are black Americans who make money, but we also have to factor in, when you want to talk about us being super consumers, yeah, we're consumers. And that is not a problem buying nice clothes. Is that a problem? No, yeah, that's cool. We can buy nice clothes, buy nice shoes, do our hair nice. We can do all of that stuff. The issue is that we're not seeing the balance between consumerism and ownership. That's the only problem. Because everybody in the world is a consumer. Everybody in America is a consumer. The reason why you're not seeing ownership is because we are dealing with white supremacy that strips away ownership. So all you're seeing left is people consuming and buying consumer products because there's no ownership left. Okay? Let's be very honest with you, because when we can have ownership and we can be consumers in a capitalistic society. And we've done that before, but yet all of our ownership has been taken away, burned down, flooded, taken with eminent domain, sabotage. We keep Miss Jackson, shout out to Miss Jackson, going up to City Hall all of the time talking about her situation with her property. So our ownership is taken away from us. So when you take that out of the conversation, it's going to make it seem as if, damn, y'all out here spending money and y'all doing all of this stuff and y'all wasting y'all money, not understanding that you have to factor in that our ownership is taken away. Then, okay, yeah, we do spend a lot of money on Nike and Jordans and stuff like that. Cool. That's true. That's true. That's true. How much money? Y'all know I like my questions, y'all. Y'all know I like my questions. How much money do white people spend on their shoes? I pause for a reason. Let you think. How much money do white people spend on their shoes? How much money do white people spend on their clothes? How much money do white people spend on their hair? Nobody asks these questions. Do you think about that? Nobody asks white people, how much do y'all spend on your shoes? How much do y'all spend on your clothes? How much do y'all spend on your hair? Nobody asks them these questions. We are the only group of people in this country that gets pocket watched. Everything we do. When we do stuff for our hair, oh, that gets pocket watched. When we do stuff for our shoes, that gets pocket watched. When we buy clothes, that get pocket watched. When we buy iPhones, that get pocket watched. When we buy a nice car, that gets pocket watched. Everything we do, nobody else compares how much money their community makes versus how much money they spend. Nobody does that. It's only us. We're the only people with people constantly micromanaging everything we spend. Talking about Floyd Mayweather. Okay, cool. Good for Floyd. I'm happy for him. Now talk about some of these other white athletes and how much they got, how much they spend, what they got going on. No, you're not going to talk about that. Everybody's talking about how much money Floyd Mayweather spends and how much he buys, how many cars he has, or whatever the case may be. Okay. I don't see people talking about how much money Tom Brady spends on none of his stuff. I just don't. I don't see nobody talking about how much money Tom Cruise has or spends, or Brad Pitt has or spends. I don't see nobody talking about that. I don't see nobody talking about how much money Justin Bieber has or spends. I don't see nobody ever talking about that. I just don't. I don't see nobody talking about how much money Taylor Swift has or spends. Okay, or they talk about the money that she has. Nobody talks about how much money she spends or what she spends it on. But everybody talking about what Floyd Mayweather has, what Floyd Mayweather buys, how much money Floyd Mayweather spends on cars, how many cars he has. I don't see nobody doing that to the dominant society. I don't see nobody doing that to them. Okay. I don't see nobody doing that to non-black people. I don't see nobody saying, I wonder how much money George Lopez spends on his cars or on his shoes or on his clothes. I don't see nobody micromanaging and pocket watching George Lopez. I don't see nobody micromanaging and pocket watching J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez. I don't see nobody doing that to them. I don't see nobody pocket watching and micromanaging Bad Bunny. I don't see nobody doing that to them. But yet, when Floyd Mayweather does something, I see people like, well, you know, y'all don't be spending your money on the right things. Don't let Floyd spend no money in a way that you don't approve of. We're constantly being watched. And these rules that we feel, and I really want us to break out of the cycle of feeling like we have to abide by this double standard, because nobody else has to abide by the double standard of checking in and doing all of these super audits of what we spend. If nobody else does, nobody else is under this rule of having to do an audit to the society of what they spent their money on, except foundational Black Americans. And it's time for us to break that cycle. If Floyd Mayweather wants to buy a bunch of Bugattis, good. I'm glad. Good for him. The more the merrier. Good for him. If he want to have a whole table full of Rolex watches, I'm good. Good for him. Okay. If he want a helicopter in the backyard, I ain't got nothing but love for it. Good. Okay. If I don't care what he spends his money on. I don't care what Beyonce spends her money on. I don't care what Jay-Z spends his money on. Okay. I don't care what LeBron spends his money on. I don't. That's their money. They spend it how they want to spend it. I don't care what they spend their money on. The same way we're not going to sit up there and we never pocket watch white folk who, mind you, we want to act like white people make such great financial decisions. We've been through several recessions because of their financial decisions, but let me not even go there. The same way we're not going to do that If y'all not gonna watch Ian McGregor and what he spends his damn UFC checks on, don't watch Floyd Mayweather. If y'all not gonna micromanage, what's his name, Jake Paul, okay, or Logan Paul, the two white boxers. I don't see nobody talking about what Jake Paul and Logan Paul spends their money on. So I don't want to hear nobody talking about what Floyd Mayweather spends his money on. Okay, if we're going to let them slide and we're not going to police them with how they spend their money, leave Floyd Mayweather alone. If y'all going to let Taylor Swift, who y'all say is a billionaire, if y'all going to let Taylor Swift spend her money however she please, leave Beyonce alone. Y'all going to let what's the other, Selena Gomez. I don't. Selena Gomez is a billionaire too with the makeup stuff she got going on. I don't see nobody policing Selena Gomez. So all it is, we do gotta spend our money better. No, spend our money better than who? Who we comparing ourselves to? See, and this is why they don't want us to really compare ourselves to anybody. Because when we start comparing ourselves, let me chop it up with you. When we start comparing ourselves to other people, we realize we actually are doing way better than them. We actually are being more responsible than them. We're actually more advanced than them and sophisticated than them. Fat Joe, that's enough. I don't hear nobody talking about what Fat Joe spends his money on. Okay. But let Kendrick Lamar get a new car, is going to be, man, these rappers. No, you don't want us to come. You want us to have this thing of we're always doing bad. They can always keep us under the we need to do better conversation if we don't compare how us to other people. Let's know if we're going to be better, if we're going to be compared, let's compare apples to apples. We're not going to compare our apple to their vague apple that you never show. That's really rotten. You don't want to show the fact that their apple is rotten, so you want to take their apple out of the picture and just look at our apple. No, no. We're comparing apples to apples. So if you're not going to do it to them, don't do it to us. No. Pocket watching broke niggas. Now, let's continue.
The real problem. There is a certain threshold that things get, and I will conclude that is the nature of that thing. In Africa, the whole continent, the black race, has way past that threshold.
And the threshold is?
Every country in Southeast Asia, in the Middle East, who were once colonized and held down by others, including the 14 Balkan countries held down by the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, now called Russia. They all bounced back solid after 25 years. I was in a conference in Singapore. I met a Korean professor. So nostalgia, I started talking about my days in Korea. He was happy. Then colonization came up. He said, do you know you have something in common with us? I said, yes. My country was colonized for about 48 years. Yours was colonized. He said, yes. He asked me, so as a result of colonization, what did you lose? And he hit me. And I said, whoa, I've never been asked that question. So I said, look, help me. What did the Koreans lose? He said, we didn't lose anything. We only lost time. So as a result of colonization, which the two of them went through the same thing, dehumanization, demeaning, and psychological operations to drill in you the superiority of the Japanese. In Africa, propaganda, psychological, to drill in you the superiority of the white. Why at the end of it? Many of them in Southeast Asia just went on. He said, at the end of it, we just went back being Koreans.
And at the end of it, what did Africans go back to being? South Carolinians, Virginians, New Yorkers. That's the same thing? You're saying that's the same thing to you?
Mm-hmm. They should have done what was done in Japan.
They should have done what it should have. Mm-hmm. Should have. What does should have to do with reality?
What was done in Japan?
Okay, no. And this is why we got to understand history. Let me explain. Let me break down, because it's what he said. Let me break that down. What he's saying is because there was colonization from Japan to Korea. Japan colonized Korea for a very long time. And then when they were done, Koreans kind of was able to pick up to a certain degree. Okay. Colonization of the Europeans happened in Africa, and then we were colonized. Okay, we're in America. First off, it was way worse. It was slavery, straight up down the middle slavery. It is not colonization. That's kind of different. Okay, in the same family, but what stuff happened to us is way worse. The difference, why they're saying, well, Koreans, they were able to recover. Yeah, that's because none of the Japanese people killed anybody for learning how to read. Anytime you hear somebody say, well, why were they able to do so well? Why were they able to recover so quickly? We were assassinated for learning how to read. And then after slavery ended, when we actually build a societies, multiple, they came and burned it down. They came and flooded it. They came and stole it. They came and wiped out all of the people who were living there. Time and time and time and time and time again. That didn't happen to Korea. After the Japanese stopped colonizing Koreans, they left Koreans alone. The problem with foundational Black Americans is we were never left alone. Even after slavery, which was way worse, and we went through it for centuries of slavery, they didn't. And it was way worse what we had to go through. We were still never left alone, no matter how far we get. It was always, we started this fire. You know how you got the sticks and you got to do the thing with the sticks, and we start the fire, and here they come with a bucket and throw it on the fire and wipe the fire out. And it's a restart after a restart after a restart after a restart after a restart. Nobody else had their progress impeded on like we had. We keep having to generation after generation after generation have to buy another home, build another business. We can't pass nothing down because they keep blowing it up. They keep stealing it. They keep burning it down. They keep wiping out everybody in the community. So yeah, you can't compare our progress and where we are to where Korea is. You can't do that. All things considered, we're doing better than Korea. To keep it a buck, we still doing better than Korea. Korea ain't got nothing on us. What Korea got on us? Korea ain't got nothing. Okay, it's even with the TH, nothing. Okay, nothing on us. What Korea got on us? None. Still.
In Japan was the Koreans went back to being Koreans, right?
No, not in South Korea.
No, in North Korea, they went back to being Koreans.
No. Japanese took a lot of women as comfort women to Japan.
Of course.
And they took a lot of slaves for the wars. When it was over, inside Japan, we have 1.7 million Koreans.
And they live like Koreans now.
They don't even, some of them don't speak proper anymore. But they decided to ask the government after it was over, we don't want to integrate or even assimilate. Give us Aichi, the largest prefecture where, and they call them Zainichi, which is the second Koreans. They don't join the army, they don't vote, they don't participate in any of these things.
They're Koreans inside of Japan.
That's correct.
Unto themselves.
Yes.
And do you think that has to do with the fact that they still have remnants of themselves enough to grab hold of and rebuild from there?
What would that be?
Cultural remnants of themselves. For example, their language. Yes. Like, for example, their spirituality.
They cut themselves off.
Do you think that those things had anything to do with their ability to now rebuild themselves as Koreans?
So then, if you know what you lost, why didn't the African Americans?
No,
yes.
You're not answering my question.
Yes, I'm going to answer your question. The Koreans knew that is what they lost when they were in Japan.
Right.
They didn't speak Korean. Right. So they said, look, we can't mix up with those people. So poverty doesn't matter. But what it matters is, let's go create an identity. Zainichi. Why didn't we do that?
From what? From what? Using what? What do we use with no remnants? What do you use to build something? You have no remnants. There are no remnants. Your Your idea.
But that's
You
what
go
you
to
have.
the average Black American in this country, and you ask them what does success look like?
Yes.
And it sounds exactly like a white person.
No, what I'm saying
For me now,
I
the word
understand.
xenophobia you talked about. In
I'm
44 years, the most xenophobia I've ever experienced in this country is from Black Americans. For me, the people that teased me when I came here, no
Why?
white person ever called me a coconut like Africans call us.
Why?
No white person ever called me a banana boat guy.
Why?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why were Black Americans the one that did it?
Mm-hmm.
Because they saw me as different to them. Because they were
Okay. All right. Okay. We were all xenophobic. Now his ass wouldn't be in this country if we were quote unquote xenophobic. His ass wouldn't be here. Now listen to what he calls xenophobia. Xenophobia. Listen to what he calls xenophobia.
still had remnants of things that they don't recognize.
Okay.
I walk barefoot. My mother could still put the basket on her head and walk through the ghetto to the laundromat like she was in Antigua.
You see, I have some credibility.
Yeah, Nick. Yes, dude. Y'all and that's one of the things too. Maybe that's another cultural tradition. Since we want to talk about some traditions, let's talk about some traditions. That's another cultural tradition. Okay? Thick skin. That's a cultural value and a cultural tradition that we have that y'all don't have. Y'all so sensitive. Y'all so sensitive. Yes, if you walking around with outside barefoot, folks gonna say something. It's not that big of a deal. That's not xenophobia. If I walk outside barefoot as a foundational Black American, I know my family gonna say something. If I did something, they gonna say, yes, dude. Why are you walking outside barefoot? We have shoes. Oh, this is xenophobia. You just learned me because I'm from Africa. No, dude, you're outside with no shoes on. Everybody else has shoes. We're going to point out the fact that you have no shoes. That's not what we do here. That's xenophobia. That's xenophobia. That's xenophobia. That's what they call it, xenophobia. We saying you don't got shoes? What? Don't let nobody hit you with that whole xenophobia stuff. They don't have no real examples of xenophobia from us. They're just being sensitive. That's why they keep bringing up African booty scratcher stuff. Nobody was doing nothing to you guys. Nobody said anything to y'all. If somebody walks around with a damn bucket on their head or whatever, and we like, damn, what the hell? We don't really walk around with baskets full of laundry on our head like that. That's kind of interesting. You guys, you don't like me because I'm from Africa. You don't understand that this is what we do. We have to walk around with the basket on our head and everything. You have to do that because of the head, with the weight on the head, and it goes down to the body, and we don't have any shoes on that. They help us with our balance. You don't understand it because you hate me because I am from Africa and you're not from Africa. No, no. Y'all so sensitive. And this is probably why y'all having this disconnect. Because we look at it like, hey, this nigga ain't got no damn shoes on. That's funny he is. He's sitting up there traumatized, can't sleep at night, tossing and turning. Okay. They made fun of the fact that I don't have any shoes. You don't have no. Why do you not have shoes? We'll make fun, and this is the thing about us. We'll make fun of you for not having shoes and then give you some shoes. We be all like, yeah, you can have some of my old Jordans over there. I got some Jordans I don't even really wear like that. You ain't got no shoes, Katoon Bay. Here, yeah, take some shoes, bro. You got it, bro. You cool. We're gonna clown you, but we will give you some shoes. Okay, it is what it is. Then you send up there, grow up. You got gray hairs in your beard. Be all like, they made fun of me because I don't have any shoes, and I don't have any shoes because my mother put the basket on her head. And she put the basket on her head because in my village we walk around with baskets on the. They're like, no, y'all babies, grow up. God, all of this xenophobia. What did they do? They said I had no shoes, nigga. Did you? I mean, come on, damn.
I was born in a traditional country, Benin. I always told you, you're not from Nigeria, you're Beninois, Dahomey. Okay? All right. And I lived with my grandfather and was raised in the wisdom of my culture, my traditions. And then I started traveling. So when I see blacks outside my continent, you know what I'm looking at? My people.
Yeah. And you see them.
No. What I'm trying to say.
Minus all the habits. You see them like this. Bro.
No. You're getting it wrong.
What's your native tongue?
You're going to.
What is your native tongue?
You're taking me to a different.
What is your native tongue?
I speak Aja.
You speak it. Do you speak it fluently still?
Yes.
You know what my native tongue is?
No.
I don't know either.
Okay. So hold on. What I'm trying to say is not to do with the language.
But the language is the culture.
But wait, I'm trying to tell you something. When I see them outside, I just see us.
Yes, you do.
You don't see what I'm trying to. You're not asking me questions.
Okay, what? So what is it you see? Is that what I should ask you? What
exactly what we are doing on the continent is what they are doing here without language. That's it. I said something,
Frank,
in one of my episodes. Do you know why Africans stay away from Black Americans? We see too much of us in them. My brother, I'm trying to tell you what I've heard from my own elders. Everything you're trying to say is true, but we got to go to the bottom of the matter.
And the bottom of the matter is what?
Nothing has happened to the black man. Why can't you accept that you are what you are because of what you are?
That is why I am who I am.
Now listen to what he says. You are what you are because of what you are. What he means by that is we're subjugated and we're at the bottom of a racial hierarchy because this is what we are. This is who we are. What he's trying to say is that we belong at the bottom. It's not the white man who put us here. It's not white supremacy. We're here because this is who we are. This is what we are. This goes back to the first video where he's talking about, or the video before, where he's talking about we're primitive. He believes that white people are just inherently better than black people. That is his honest to God's belief.
Because I believe that. But how many of us, are you saying that the majority of black people in this part of the world think the way you and I do when it comes to who
Do you think the majority of the Greeks believe the way Socrates think? It doesn't matter. After 125 years.
It's not, it matters if we're talking about reconcentrating yourself. The Greeks don't have to worry about that. They were never chopped off from their,
you asked me if you and I, the way we think, that the majority of blacks think that way. No.
I don't care about the Greeks.
Yes,
I don't care about the Koreans.
That's why we
care about the Japanese.
That's why we have thought leaders. What we are saying today may become true 125 years from now. We will come to find out that we didn't use thinking number 2. Nothing is wrong with the black man. Absolutely nothing.
Well, I don't think they think anything is wrong with them. I don't think black people
They think.
No. Like when you said Michelle Obama is saying that, she has dealt with racism. And you don't, or something along those lines. You said, I've heard Michelle Obama, I've heard Beyonce say these things, and I don't think it happens. How can you say that, bro? You don't
what happened?
That they experienced those things.
What things?
I don't want to misquote what you said. It was in one of your episodes. You said something about black people calling white supremacy.
Yeah.
And dealing with white supremacy. And you disavow it as if it's just a myth that they made up.
Yes.
Come on.
I told them where it came from, man.
Telling somebody where something comes from does not disavow it. If your mother went through
Okay, so this, now I will say the guy in the, because this is like, now normally this would be interesting, the guy in the like African tribes or whatever the case is. He's in this African tribe skirt thing, okay, which is interesting because you're wearing a t-shirt. Like if you go, my whole thing is, and I'm not trying to diss nobody's culture. I'm really not. I'm not trying to diss nobody's culture. But if you're gonna wear it all the way. Don't wear the bottom half and then wear a t-shirt. Wear the whole dashiki. Wear the whole thing the whole way. Don't half it. Don't half-ass it, because now it look weird. Now you look like you're wearing a skirt. If you're gonna wear a gown or a robe or whatever the case is, you got to wear the whole thing the whole way. Because if you wear a robe and put a t-shirt on the robe, it looked like a skirt at the bottom. So you look like you're wearing a skirt. I'm trying to assume you wearing a robe. I assume it's a robe, but it looked like a skirt because you got a t-shirt on. Okay? Now, fashion is another thing that we got in our culture too. Because if he knew an FBA brother, we would have checked that out the door. But we can't do that because that would be xenophobia. See, that's your problem. You don't got no fashion sense, brother. That's your problem. You walking around with barefoot. You walking around barefoot. Now you got the shirt on and the robe, and that look like a skirt. And we can't say nothing to you because you was crying when we said you was barefoot. We be trying to help you. We trying to help you. Now, if you know for it, look, if come on, man. Now you out there. It's kind of, even though you're saying something, it's a little distracting. Your clothing is a little distracting. See, that's why you can't be so sensitive. Come on, damn. At least you do got shoes on this time. I guess he was traumatized with the shoe thing. Whoa. At least you got some shoes. I give you that. We have to traumatize you into wearing shoes. But come on, it's distracting. Okay. But anyway, now he's trying to disagree with the fact that now you see the Tether, what's his name, Zanu is talking about how Michelle Obama and nobody experienced white supremacy, and white supremacy is made up, is what he's saying. White supremacy is completely made up. Now, you heard him before when the woman said she was attacked, racially attacked. He said, well, if Tupac did it, would you say it was racism? So he denies white supremacy every chance he get. Okay, this is the Tether massa loving Sambo ass kisser. All right.
Lining, but she couldn't live in a place
They are
because she was
using
black.
because exactly what we started this conversation with. They were using the first thinking to reach conclusions. Who told them what happened was racism?
What was it? It doesn't have anything to do with who
So
told them.
the way the
wait,
black straight treated
it has
you,
nothing to do with who told them anything. If you lived in
Feelings.
if you lived in Jackson, Mississippi in 1950, like Richard Wright did, what do you think your life was like?
hell.
Okay, so then what do you mean? Who had to tell them? They lived it. Nobody had to tell them anything. They lived that life. You know who Richard Wright is, don't you? The black writer.
Yeah, the writer.
You ever heard it where he talks about Africa? He sounds like a white man. Wait. And did you know he never came back? He never went back to Mississippi. He never went back to Jackson. He was afraid of Jackson.
Yaba, what I do on my show is that I simply question conclusions and answers. So let me share something with you. The way African Americans treated you when you came here, they did the same to me. Was that racism?
No.
No, you're going too far.
No, I'm not.
Why is it not racism?
You ask me a question, let me answer. Huh?
Why is it not racism?
Because racism, the way I define it, and the way I was taught in college, racism is having the power to perpetuate your biases and your prejudices, make them legislative law. That is racism. You understand me?
Okay, so
we have every human being.
Okay, I'll give you the last.
Biases, and prejudice.
Okay. So I give and here's the thing. We can, it's fine. We can give credit where credit is due. Yeah. Racism is about, and I've said this ever since I started YouTube, racism is about power. You can sum racism up to one word, power. And if you want to use two words, you can say racial power. Okay? If you want to use three words, you can say a racial power or racial power hierarchy. Okay? But all of that's why we say, and there's really only one racial power hierarchy, that's white supremacy. Racial power, white supremacy. Racial power hierarchy, white supremacy. It's all white supremacy. All right? So we can't be racist to anybody. So he's correct with that. But the thing is that we wasn't even being xenophobic to his ass either. We told a joke. We weren't being xenophobic. We didn't try to undermine his success either. We're not doing that. But look, now once he gives the definition of racism, now look at where the other guy goes, because you know for a fact that he's going to try to deflect racism every chance he gets.
I will give you the last.
And here's the thing that bothers me. None of them are FBA. Even though he's talking about racism and white supremacy, he's still not from here. He still can't, even if he's saying, I don't care if he's 100% correct. He's not a foundational Black American. And what you need to do is you need to get a foundational Black American who knows what they're talking about to get up there and to go back and forth with you. But you're not going to do that because you know you would lose. You know you would lose. You know you got some well-educated brothers and sisters who are more than willing to go up there and to get some straightening done, but you don't want to do that. So that's why you keep bringing on these non-FBAs who are not a part of our culture, who don't know our history that well, who can't really defend it that well, to make it seem like you're the smartest person in the room.
Platform, okay? Please, name one bias law made that prevents Blacks from becoming
redlining.
Redlining is
Yes.
a law.
Yes.
Where is it?
Where is it?
Yeah.
Well, you don't see it as often now, but you saw it in the 50s and the 60s in this country.
Okay, where is it now?
Where is that law redlining now?
Where is redlining?
In Greenwich.
Greenwich.
In Westport.
Yeah. And that does what to what? To who? Because redlining, therefore you could not become what? So the
No,
NBA.
because redlining, you couldn't
right.
buy a house in this neighborhood.
Oh, I see.
That's
I
what I
see.
mean by
Okay,
redlining.
okay. All right. I understand. I understand. I understand.
That's what redlining was.
Montel Williams lived in Greenwich.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Okay. Redlining still continues. Okay. It's just undercover. Let's be honest. Redlining still continues. That is a good example because at least that's something that's documented. If you guys know about, if you guys have seen, even the situation with Amanda Seals, they brought up redlining. Redlining is a good example because it's something that they've at least admitted to. That is not even a thing that you can really argue didn't happen because that is too well documented. It's already been exposed and admitted to. So that is a good example. All right. But let's not act as if redlining is not a thing that continues to this day. That's the only thing. When you bring up redlining, you also have to bring up the fact that there's been no recovery and so the cultural practice of redlining happens to this day. All right. There was a situation a few years ago where a Black family tried to appraise their home, and their house value was lower than what they expected. So what they did is they swapped, or they at least pretended to swap, got a second appraisal of the house, but they had a white family pose as the owners of the house. Same house, no improvements, no change in the community, no change in the economy, nothing like that. But when the white family, when the appraisers thought that the white family owned the exact same home, they appraised the house for a higher value. There was no difference between the house, the environment, the neighborhood, nothing. The only difference was who they perceived to have owned the home. Okay. And when they thought a white family owned the home, the house magically had more value to it than when a Black family owned the home. So these are still cultural practices of ownership and racial hierarchy of white ownership that they still practice culturally today. So yeah, even though redlining has quote unquote been outlawed and doesn't exist anymore, does not mean that the practice of subjugating and having and sabotaging Black home ownership does not still exist today. You gotta update with these modern examples, because they'll try to make it seem like, well, redlining was a thing of the past, so you guys gotta let it go. No, we do not let it go. Okay, because it's not been a thing of the past. But look at what he says next. Now look at where he goes.
So all the basketball players, NFL players,
Yep.
all of them,
Yes.
redlining doesn't affect them.
Now here he goes, pocket watching again, talking about some basketball players and NFL players. Here he goes again.
Because what? Because what did I say at the beginning? I never.
No.
I
Yeah,
think
answer it.
I think racism is crap. I think it's always been about classism. So that's why they
That
can
is
live
what
there.
I said in the episode. Go listen to it again.
Frank, I never said anything about you and I not agreeing. You know, I said you need pushback because you say these things and you run past them without any context. That's what I'm saying. You run past something like that without any context. Is you know how many black people understand the nuances between what racism. Most black people will tell you, and most white people will tell you racism is that. Racism is a black person in my judgment.
Yeah.
No. And see, this is why you can't debate with, you can't have no damn tether up there, because it's not about no damn classism. I just gave you the perfect example. I gave you that with that single example, the whole it's about classism, not racism is dead. I killed that example, because if it was about classism, then all y'all would see is money. Then why is there a particular sabotaging when it comes to black people exclusively? Why are you not sabotaging, monetarily sabotaging, and being a hindrance to the progress of white people and black people equally? If it's not about race, why are you guys valuing a house owned by white people, the same house owned by white people, higher than you would if a black person owned that house? If it's not about race, it is about race. They would lose money subjugating black people. They lose money doing that stuff because it's about race to them. They don't care about classism. Do you know they don't care about classism? They will throw money out the window as long as they keep a racial hierarchy. Now, classism is a problem in their community among themselves, but no, classism is not a thing. No, that is not our problem. That's not our problem. You have the situation. You will have a damn white nobody, hillbilly trailer park trash can pick up a phone and make an accusation against a black celebrity of a higher class, higher status, more money, and have that black celebrity go to jail, go to trial, get arrested, be deemed guilty from some white trailer park trash. Now, you can't have no black person from the hood in the ghetto make an allegation about a white celebrity and that be taken serious ever. But you got a whole bunch of white hillbilly trailer park trash who can make allegations about black celebrities with millions of dollars and that be taken to court and be taken serious, even if the evidence is on the black person's side. No, it's not. Let me get to some of these super chats because then there's some other stuff I want to discuss. Shout out to Gia. Gia, how you doing? Says black people have different culture, music, rap, yeah, etc. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Zoom in that a little bit. Okay. Omar, let me take that down. Omar says delineation is imperative. Delineation is imperative. Okay. Shout out to Cal Polk. Cal Polk says our tradition is that we built this whole damn country. And the pulse of America is literally the pulse of FBA. Get this musty tether out of here. Yeah, it is. It is. Your Mia says stepping is our culture. That's true. We created stepping and many other dances. Cal Polk again says y'all already know Matumbo over here took a cow piss shower and ate grub worms with his toes before this interview. These tethers are out of control. They are. I mean, just degenerate, no culture, no class, no respect. Omar again says Xanu is mad because our culture is the blueprint. It is, because nobody else can say theirs is. Ours is, and we know ours is. Amari says fighting white supremacy is a major part of our culture. Black 73, he says dope science. Hey, like, come on. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Para says FBA culture. FBA culture is FBA culture, to make it plain, is freedom fighting and truth telling. It is. Easy does. That's true. Thank you very much. Cal Polk again. Thank you very much. Y'all got a couple other ones. We're gonna get to those in a little bit. Thank you very much. We're taking a break. As we doing that, y'all need to be hitting that like button. That's what y'all need to be doing. Come on now. Let's hit that like button. Hit that like button. If y'all not subscribed and y'all like this content and y'all like black empowerment, y'all got to subscribe. If y'all are caring about Black empowerment. Y'all gotta subscribe. All right. Cowpoke again says wearing a dress in our culture is humiliation. Yeah, that's true. Humiliation ritual. Looks like he everyday attire. Looks like his the everyday attire for these tethers. Now we know what happens to Atlanta. No, Atlanta is another case, and there's a lot of tethers in Atlanta. Your says it's not the Asian culture, it's the superpower called China that is backing them. That is very true. China has been backing them. He's not putting that into context. Shout out to Vicky for the super chat. Yamia says this guy is a hypocrite. He is. Yeah, it's a bunch of hypocrites. It's disingenuous work. It's a lot of that stuff. Now, so you had some tethers and Foundation Black Americans. We've been stepping up. We've been standing against them. You had some tethers who've been out here trying to cop pleas and defend them. All right. Let's look at this. Let's look at this, okay? Hold on. Let's go, because when he said we had no culture, you had a whole bunch of tethers who agreed. They don't like the fact that we are the blueprint when it comes to cultures. So you have this tether. He came up here and he started agreeing.
Groups, they have no culture. It depends on who you meet, where you meet them. Name two taboos in the African American culture system.
To say that Black Americans have no culture boldly is to admit publicly that you're unqualified to continue your conversation.
You did not answer the question. So you started by showing a random video of Africans dressed in hip-hop like, saying that they were emulating Black American culture. First of all, hip-hop is a culture of its own, okay? And these kids are not emulating Black American culture. They are emulating their favorite rappers or whatever. Everybody does that in every single music genre. Fans emulate their artists. Then you talked about twerking, saying that twerking.
No. Don't let them do that with hip hop. Don't let them do that. We cannot let them do that with hip hop. We can't. Listen, hip hop is foundational Black American culture. We're not gonna, hip hop is a culture in and of itself. Notice that they keep trying to create this distance between foundational Black American culture and hip hop. They keep trying to say, well, hip hop is really New York culture. It's really the Bronx culture. So therefore, anybody living in the Bronx, it's a part of their culture. So it's foundational Black Americans. It's Hispanics. It's no. Oh, well, hip hop is a culture in and of itself. No. Hip hop is a music genre. There's a culture that creates the music genre. We are the culture of hip hop. Hip hop is a genre in our culture. Music genres come from a set of people. We are the set of people that birthed the music genre of hip hop that was stemming from other music genres of our culture. You're not going to sit up there and say, well, no, hip hop is its own thing, so we can copy our favorite rappers. There would be no rap if it wasn't for hip hop. There would be no hip hop if it wasn't for foundational Black Americans. Because in order for you to get hip hop, you needed funk, you needed disco, you needed all of these things. Okay, you needed graffiti, you needed all of this cultural elements and things. That comes from us. It comes from you. You listening right now, it comes from you. As a foundational Black American, it comes from you. Thank yourself. Because I thank you. Thank yourself. Notice they keep trying to disconnect that. No, because y'all don't have an equivalent to hip-hop. Y'all don't. Hip-hop is a global thing. And they're trying to universalize it so they can claim it. We can't, no, I'm not going to allow you to universalize that. We can't allow them to universalize hip-hop. Hip-hop is our culture. Because y'all don't have an equivalent to it doesn't mean that y'all get to universalize that and then take it from us. No, it doesn't. If hip-hop was so universal, and if it's a culture in and of its own, y'all make one. Y'all make a version of hip. Oh, yeah, you tried. I forgot about Afro beats. Which y'all got a lot of that from us, but we ain't gonna go there. A lot of Afro beats sound like hip hop. It sounds like the African version. Oh, let's not go there. Let's not go there, because if they're crying about shoes, they're gonna cry about Afro beats. So we don't even gotta go there. But y'all thought that Afro beats was gonna be. Y'all thought that Afro beats was gonna be the replacement of hip hop. How that working out? How's that working out? How's Afro beats working out to be the replacement of hip hop? How's that working out? Yeah, because y'all don't have a replacement. Y'all don't have anything that's the equivalent of hip hop. That don't mean that y'all get to take it from us. It don't. No. And we're not going to sit up there and make allow y'all to universalize it and say it's a culture in and of itself. You think hip hop just fell from the sky? And it was just one day we didn't have hip hop, the next day we did. Everybody has it. No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened.
Came from Africa. That is true. Okay. The art of shaking your behind as a dance came from Africa, but you will never see African women randomly twerking in the streets. The only time you will see these women shake their behind.
Yes, you do. You see African women randomly twerking in the streets. And first off, you don't see foundational Black American women just walking down the street waiting on a bus and then just start shaking their ass. You just don't see us doing that. You don't see FBA women just they just in line at a damn Dunkin' Donuts and then just start busting it open on the floor. You don't see us doing that. Foundation, they keep trying to make it seem like FBA women just twerk any and everywhere they go. Like they got twerk Tourette's, where foundational Black American sister is just out of nowhere. She at the store buying some clothes and then bam, just start doing splits on the floor. Like, no, we don't be doing that.
Is when they're having a ceremony that requires them to shake their behind. And that's how the art of shaking your behind becomes cultural, because it's not just shaking your behind on its own, it's shaking your behind while traditional music is playing, while you are dressed traditionally, and while you are having a traditional ceremony. The whole thing is cultural. The art of shaking your behind itself is just an African dance. One thing I thought was actually hilarious is when you talked about soul food, saying that soul food is a mix of European, African, and Native American food that is unique to Black Americans. That is funny. How can you say that something is unique when it is a mix of other people's culture? Does every single family of Black Americans eat soul food? Now, if I'm in Congo and I'm going to someone's house,
every single family, there's over 40 million of us. Every single family of foundation Black Americans doesn't have to eat soul food for soul food to be our culture. I want us to understand how much larger we are than other groups of people as far as our population. Do you know that there are some we as just our ethnic group in America is larger? If you just took all of us together, 40 is like what, 43-ish million. Even if we want to say 40 million, just for the sake of the argument, do you understand that we make up more than a lot of other countries do? That there are whole countries that don't have a population of 40 million people. And we're in a country of 40 million people, okay? And we're just giving the benefit of the doubt and just keeping it at 40. No, are all 40 million people going to do the exact same thing? No, but does that not mean that it's a cultural thing? It doesn't have to be practiced among the totality. As long as it's practiced among the collective and it's permitted among the collective, it can be considered to be culture, okay? A lot of us culturally eat fried chicken. There are some FBA who are vegetarian, don't eat any meat at all. Okay. There's some who don't eat no meat. They don't eat chicken. That doesn't mean that chicken is not a part of our culture. Or fried chicken isn't a part of our culture. That doesn't mean that. Because the collective of us eat a certain food. Okay. There's some, I've known some foundation, I was just talking to somebody. There was a foundation Black American. She said, I was talking to her about it. She was overhearing something and we were talking and she said she grew up, didn't eat greens. I grew up eating greens a lot. Me and my family grew up eating greens a lot. She doesn't eat greens. She eats, a lot of other FBA dishes and stuff. She is FBA. She grew up eating, black eyed peas and what I'm saying, cornbread and all of that stuff. Just because she doesn't eat greens doesn't mean greens are not our culture. Because collectively speaking, We eat greens. Collectively speaking, we eat these things. This is our culture. Okay, collectively, macaroni and cheese is our culture. Collectively, cornbread. Collectively, hush puppies, fried chicken. Okay, collective. These things are our culture. All right, cabbage and stuff. That's our culture. You guess what else is our culture? Guess what? A lot of people talk about soul food when they talk about jambalaya. That's another one. A lot sweet potato pie. That's another one. A lot of people talk about this stuff when it comes to our culture. Guess what else? Let me talk to y'all first. Guess what else is a very, very big part of our culture that a lot of people don't really express enough? Barbecue. Barbecue is a huge part of foundational Black American culture. It's a huge part of foundational Black American culture. All right. Do you understand that barbecue in America, even though people were quote unquote barbecuing, barbecue, just what that means is to take raw meat and cook it over an open pit. That is literally what a barbecue is. That is what that is. It wasn't until foundational Black Americans in the South turned barbecue, because we were always culturally barbecuing, frying or cooking open pits. It was foundational Black Americans that turned making barbecue into a business, where there were foundational Black Americans that were opening up shacks at the time. They were called shacks at the time, and they were selling just straight up barbecue. They were cooking barbecue all day long, and people could go and get barbecue. Okay, so it turned into, because we know when we have family reunions, which is another part of our culture, a lot of times we barbecue. All right, but we would only barbecue during events and things like that. But there were some foundational Black Americans who opened up shacks, and they would barbecue all day long. They would have ribs and chicken and all of that stuff all day long, and people could go anytime and get some barbecue. Okay, and that's why the South has a super strong barbecue culture that comes from foundational Black Americans. All right, now you can get barbecue anywhere in America now, but if you notice, especially from y'all, a lot of us who are from the South. Now I have family from the South. I'm not from the South myself, but a lot of foundational Black Americans who are from the South, y'all live in the South, y'all understand. Southern Black folk take barbecue very serious. Very serious. Okay? Don't nobody take barbecue more serious than a Black person from the South. They take barbecue very serious. All right? So we've understood all of this stuff. Okay? This our food is a part of our culture. Now, were there other people who were barbecuing before? Yes, there was. Yes, there was. Barbecue only means to cook raw meat over an open pit. That's what a barbecue is, or to cook something over an open pit. Because you can barbecue like vegetables and corn and stuff, but really it means meat. You're barbecuing a meat, a raw meat over an open pit slowly. We were the ones who said, you know what, instead of doing this for an event, we can actually turn this into a whole business. It was foundational Black Americans who cultivated the culture of barbecue as a business, which is why when you go to most barbecue shacks, especially in the South, they're ran by FBA, because we have a culture of barbecue that nobody else does. Even though other people have barbecued, barbecue is a specific foundation. It's a very unique thing with us. It's unique to us because our relationship with barbecue is different. Okay? And I want y'all to think about that next time y'all have a barbecue. Y'all think about whatever you eating. Y'all, even if you're vegetarian, you can barbecue some corn. You know what I'm saying? That's good. You can barbecue that, and you think that's FBA culture right there. All right? When you talk about food, most food, I mean, let's be honest, food has been food, okay? People have been eating food for centuries. Food can be different depending on how you make the food, How you cook something changes it. A lot of people fish and grits. Come on now, we can do this all day. Even how you cook something and the way you prepare things can change it from being one thing to another thing. Let me give you an example. All right. And anytime you use this, let's look, I'm not sneak this. Look, shout out to the vegetarian brothers and sisters. Shout out to y'all. No sneak this. I'm just saying we all included in this. Listen to this, right? How you make something, you can make something with the same ingredients differently, and it can be two different things. It can be two different things if you make it with the same ingredients. Let's use an example of a batter. Okay? If you use an example of a batter, if I put this batter, this batter into a pan and I cook it on one side, I flip it, cook it on the other side, it's a pancake. I can make a pancake with this batter. With this same batter, if I put this in an iron and I cooked it in an iron, it would become a waffle. If I make it with the same batter. So it's a pancake and a waffle the same? No. A pancake and a waffle are two different things. Okay? If you go to a restaurant, IHOP, Denny's, whatever other restaurant you think of, breakfast restaurant, and you order a stack of pancakes and they give you a waffle, you would say, that's not what I ordered. It doesn't matter if you made it with the same batter. It's not what I ordered. It's a different thing. This is a different food item because you cooked it differently. Even if you use the same ingredients, if you cook certain things differently, it changes what it is. So if you cook a waffle in an iron, it's a waffle. If you take that batter, and if you cook that batter like a pancake, it's a pancake. Okay? So yeah, just because we have taken different parts of recipes from different cultures, if we change that and we make it unique and put a spin on it, it's something different. Which is why we have a jambalaya, which is why our macaroni is different than other people's macaroni, which is why our chicken is different from their chicken. That's why Colonel Sanders had to steal our chicken and make KFC. KFC came from Foundational Black Americans, if y'all didn't know that. Because we understood you had to cook chicken differently, okay? You have to cook these things very differently. So yes, you can't say something isn't unique to us because that existed before. It may have existed before, but we made it different. And because we make it different, it's different. It's a new thing now. Now this is unique to us. Apple juice and applesauce both come from apples, but they're different. It's a different thing. So anytime they try to take our culture away or discredit our culture because there's been remnants of that coming from different places, doesn't mean that it's not a unique factor in our culture. We took something that y'all did and y'all did and y'all did, put that together and made something new. So it's ours now. And we cannot let nobody take that credit away from us. Let's get back to this.
I know I'm going to eat Congolese food. No matter the house I'm going to, I know I'm going to eat Congolese food. I'm not going to eat pizza. I'm not going to eat tacos. I'm going to eat Congolese food. That is cultural. I don't have to call them and ask them, yo, can you make some Congolese food? No, I don't have to, because every single Congolese household eats Congolese food. That is cultural.
Yeah, because y'all don't got no diversity like that. Y'all don't have no diversity. We're very diverse. Some days we might hook up some fried chicken. Other days we might make some tacos. It's cool. We can make some tacos, and our tacos are a lot better than the damn Mexican tacos. I'm going to be honest with you. If we telling the truth, we're going to tell the truth today. Or we might make some pizza. We might make some barbecue. Yeah, we very diverse. We don't got to make one single thing. See, that's the difference with y'all. Y'all are repetitive. Y'all one trick ponies. Y'all only got one dish. Most of these other cultures, y'all only got a couple of damn dishes. Y'all don't got no big long cooking book of recipes like that. Y'all don't really have that. No. Some day we don't like the same thing every single day. We are not in prison. We're not in jail. We have variety. We like to mix stuff up a little bit. We eat chicken one day, and then next day we'll have a damn pizza, and then we'll have some tacos, then we'll have some spaghetti. It don't matter. We'll mix stuff up. That's a part of our culture.
You guys confuse creations and inventions with culture. Culture is something that everybody does. Let me give you an example. If myself, as a Congolese, I want to marry another Congolese girl, I know exactly what to do. I know exactly where to start because I know how Congolese people proceed with marriage. My brother is going to do the same. My cousin is going to do the same. The guy that lives next to our house is going to do the same. Another Congolese that lives somewhere else in the city is going to do the same. We don't need to talk about it. We know exactly what to do. That is cultural. I know I have to go to the girl's parents with my parents, and her parents are going to give us a list of things to buy. Okay. If we don't buy these things, I'm not marrying that girl. That is the tradition. So we have to get that list, buy the things that we need to marry that girl. Then we have to go to a ceremony and present everything we have purchased. Okay. And the family's going to go through it. If they are pleased with it, they're going to come up with some sort of a game. Okay. I see as a game. So they're going to be like, well, this is good, but your wife is not here. She's like at some village. She's not at some village. She's just in a room over there. But you have to pay. They're like, oh, you need to pay so that we can go get her. You give some money and they're like, that's not enough. She's too far. We need more for like gas and stuff like that. Until they're satisfied, and then they're going to be like, okay, we're going to get her. Then they bring her outside. You see that? Culture. Every single Congolese man has to go through this. I'm at a point where I'm starting to think either Black
and what does that have to do with us? What does that have to do with us? How does that mean that we don't have culture? Because that doesn't have. What does that have to do with us? And with your standard, does every single Congolese family operate that way? Because if your standard is, if every single family doesn't operate that way, it's not culture. Because you just said if every single Black American family doesn't eat soul food, then soul food isn't our culture. So with that same standard, this is why we always flip the standard, okay? And we expose them when we flip it. With that same exact standard, that can't be their culture because every single family doesn't operate that way. That's a very traditional way of their culture, but some cultures are less traditional than that. Okay? They're more, they have more Western cultural beliefs and practices than that. So is that not their culture? Always know how they have the standard when it comes to our culture, and then the goalpost moves all the way back here when it comes to their culture. I'm not letting them get away with that. No. If soul food ain't our culture, then all that marriage stuff that you was just talking about ain't your culture then. We ain't gonna go there. Because every single family don't operate that way. So all of this stuff, and this war of attacking and dismissing and all of this stuff of our culture. And a lot of people are getting sick and tired of a lot of these, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of these people getting tired of the colonizing and the stripping of cultures. And because we've been standing up, remember I told you that what we're going to start seeing is we're going to start seeing a lot of Caribbeans voice their issue with the same thing, which is what we're seeing now here. Look at this. Okay. A lot of people saw this video and I thought it was very interesting. I'm going to play this for you guys real fast. Let me show you. Oh, y'all, have y'all hit that like button? If you guys haven't, I would appreciate it if you guys have. We still got a lot of time. If y'all like this, y'all hit that like button. I appreciate y'all, family. We locked in, we deep. Happy Labor Day to every single last one of y'all. I'm glad that y'all in here. Y'all could be doing anything else, but y'all with us. Okay. Y'all seen this? Look at this. So Caribbeans who are having this panel with Africans, and they're talking about Carnival, and they don't like the way Carnival is going down. They don't like the way Carnival is quote unquote being colonized and taking over, and they don't like the cultural erasure of Carnival by Africans. Thought that was interesting.
Should Carnival be for all Black people or specifically Caribbean focus? Tell me something now.
The carnival's being hijacked. There's
Talk the things.
like what was carnival originally meant for, and why are we getting ourselves so far away from it? To be honest, personally, I don't mind, but if we're gonna be real, like I'm hearing acid house, I'm hearing all types of things, and then what's it, Afro beats and stuff now? I'm like, is that what's that to do with the Caribbean? Now, can you not have your own carnival? Like, why?
Can I interject?
People have to mind my business.
I feel like there's a very much a anti-African underlying thing that is actually people's issues, and they're not being honest.
Real, they're not being
No,
real.
they're not. Because the thing is, even before Afrobeats really kind of took off, look how many house sections there were in Carnival.
100%.
No one complains.
No one complains. No one complains. Garage, jungle, drum and bass. No one complains. Salsa. No one complains. The minute there's an piano sound, everybody's complaining about it.
Yes.
It's mad.
Okay. So essentially what they're saying is y'all wasn't complaining when other people were doing it, but I want y'all to understand. Don't know why that happened. I want y'all to understand. Oh, it's interesting now. Now, is that xenophobia? Is that being divisive for Caribbeans to be all like, man, I don't want to hear no Afro beats at Carnival? Are the Pan-African is going to call them sellouts in Uncle Tom's? Are the Pan-African is going to call them xenophobic and divisive? Are they going to do that, or do they have a right to gatekeep their culture and gatekeep their events and gatekeep their holidays? Okay, do they have that right too? Because I don't see Pan-African is calling the Caribbeans out when the Caribbeans show that they're upset. Okay. I saw this video that came shortly afterwards. Let me show you this video, because there's been multiple videos of the Caribbeans being kind of upset about what's going on at Carnival. And they're not upset with us because we said, hey, we cool. We're going to leave Carnival alone. And now they're dealing with the same really tethering and the colonization that Africans have done to our culture with the Afro beats and stuff like that. They're doing that to Carnival too. And now a whole bunch of them are getting upset with Africans. Listen to this. Oh, okay, there it is.
Caribbean Carnival is for Caribbean people. If you are not Caribbean and you attend Carnival, you are nothing more than a guest. So with that, you need to act accordingly, because it seems as though a lot of y'all and a lot of us have lost the plot. Seriously, a lot of people are trying to censor Carnival for them and their culture and their representation, and it's like, nope. Caribbean Carnival is not some festival anybody just gets to show up at. It's the celebration of Caribbean culture and fighting back against colonialism. And these are the same type of people that will also get on the internet and call Job demonic. Like, if you think Job is demonic, don't fucking show up to Carnival. And I said what I said, because how dare you? And if you're not Caribbean and you decide to attend Carnival, don't be waving your fucking flag. It's not the time or the fucking place.
Now, a lot of people initially had thought that she was talking about Black Americans, but I want y'all to follow me. Follow me. I don't think she's talking about us. She's not talking about us. Now, we already dealt with a woman who said before, a Tether who said for Black Americans not to show up at Carnival. So we were already disinvited to Carnival, and we just said, fine, all right, okay, we ain't gonna trip on Carnival, cool. She's not talking about us. Let me take that back. Let's do a little rewind. Y'all. She's not talking about us. Hold on.
Your fucking flag. It's not the time or the waving your fucking flag. Don't be waving your fucking flag. Don't be waving your fucking flag.
Excuse me for the language, but no, she's not talking about us. She's talking about Africans, because we don't be going to Carnival waving the American flag, waving the Black American heritage flag. She's not talking about us. Don't be going to Carnival waving your flag. She's talking about Nigerians going to Carnival waving their flag. She's talking about South Africans going to Carnival waving their flag. She's talking about Ghanaians going to Carnival waving their flag. She's talking about that. Interesting. Interesting, huh? Oh, that's very interesting. So let's let her go. Let's let her go. Okay. So now the Caribbean and the Africans, then the Caribbean are tired. The same thing that they were saying now is the Caribbean and the Africans kind of going at each other. Okay, look, let's listen. Let's listen.
It's not the time or the fucking place. If you want to do that shit, go to your own carnival, go to your own festivals and celebrations. Don't do that shit when it's for Caribbean people. That's disrespectful. Y'all only do this when it comes to us. Y'all don't do this when it comes to the Dominican parade. Y'all don't do it for Dia de Muertos. Y'all only do it when it comes to Caribbean culture, and it needs to stop. Show some respect. And to all my Caribbean people out there, we need to start gatekeeping our culture, because now a lot of people feel a little bit too comfortable disrespecting our culture. We are too inclusive. We are too welcoming. We need to stop that shit, honestly.
Now that's interesting. Is that not delineate? Are you delineating? Is that not what delineating is? Are you not delineating? Huh. That's interesting. Let me tell y'all something. I knew that this was going to happen. I already said that this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. Okay? I said, no matter what they tell you, no matter they tell you you're the bad guy, you're doing something wrong, you're being an Uncle Tom, I want y'all to listen to me. Let me say this as slow as possible. We are the good guys. We are the ones winning. We are the ones on the right path. We're the ones doing the right thing, the thing that needs to be done. We are the ones doing that. Everybody doesn't have to get it in the beginning. That's fine. I really want us to really like marinate with this idea. Everybody's not going to get it in the beginning. How many of us, we've had an idea and nobody else really sees it the way we see it at first. And then we start doing it. And then people like, damn, you were right about that. How many times, I'm sure, because a lot of us are the same in this way. How many times have we done something and a lot of people are like, oh, I don't really know about that. And then you do it and people are like, yep, you were right. Yep, you were right. That's true. You were right. I got to give it to you. We know we're right. You know you're right. You listening right now. You know that you're right. We're right. We're doing what we got to be doing right now. And everybody doesn't see it until the effects start rolling in, and it might take a little bit of time, but when the effects start rolling in, now everybody gets it. Now they see it. Now they understand. We were right the whole time. Everything we were doing, they were saying it was divisive. They were saying it was xenophobic. They were saying we were the bad guys. They were saying it's nationalistic. But now people are starting to see the logic. People are starting to understand. People are starting to respect it. People are starting to respect it because you have to. You got to respect the truth. You can dislike the truth all you want to, but one thing about it, you will respect it. You'll respect the truth no matter if you like it or not. You don't have to like the truth to respect it, but you will respect it. The truth must be respected. Let me show you this. I saw this and I thought this was also interesting too.
I, as a Haitian American, now truly understand the stance of so many Black Americans, so many foundationally Black Americans, as far as no longer wanting to be humble. I understand them no longer wanting to give into appeasement behavior. And it's not that these people aren't humble. They're tired of the world constantly trying to humble them. Just listen to how this sounds. Imagine being the start of a movement, a start of a community, yet still having to prove to people in that community why you deserve to be there, why you deserve to be a part of it, why you deserve to be accepted. Imagine your people being the start of whatever kind of influence, other people benefiting from said influence, just to turn around and tell you that your people didn't create it, or they try to discredit or diminish the impact of the influence. Try to say that, yeah, it may have started there, but we took it and turned it into this and twisted it into that, and now we made it our own. What? Anything to not give your people their due respect. Haiti is the first independent Caribbean country, yet has just now started getting included in the Caribbean spaces. How is that possible when we started it? How is that possible when we're the start? The Caribbean Music Awards that was held literally on Friday took place in damn near Little Haiti in Brooklyn. Yet all Haiti got was an honorable mention. Y'all been celebrating Zouk. Y'all been celebrating Zouk. Anytime a Zouk song comes on, y'all are quick to let any Haitian know, oh no, that's not compa, that's Zouk. But Zouk is a subgenre of compa. It comes from compa. Martinique wouldn't have that genre if it didn't start in Haiti with compa. Just like all of the rest of the soca islands would not have soca if it did not start and originate in Trinidad. But y'all understand that. Haiti is the first Latino country, the first independent Latino country that went on to help Mexico, Venezuela, DR, Peru, Ecuador, Panama get their independence. Yet we're just now being recognized as a Latino country. We're now being recognized as a Latino country. We're now being accepted in the community we started. Haiti is the first independent Black republic in the world. In the world. Okay? In order for other parts of the world to know their history, they have to learn about Haitian history. For a lot of countries, in order for you to learn, to begin to learn the beginning of your country, you have to learn about mine. Because Haitian history is world history. The impact of the Haitian Revolution still impacts the world today. Today. Spain Spanish is the standard Spanish. France French is the standard French. England English is the standard English. But when Haitians say that Haitian Creole is the standard French-based Creole, y'all want to say no, we didn't get the Creole language from you. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Y'all need to go and educate yourselves. Okay? Although Saint-Domingue was not France's first territory, that was Quebec, Canada. That was the first territory that they imported African slaves to. The first set of African slaves that were imported by France was sent to Saint-Domingue. It was those first African slaves that started creating the French-based Creole that we know today, from them trying to learn French from their colonizers while still keeping the native tongue they came with. It was because of the natural resources that Haiti had that France was able to make so much fucking money to the point where they started acquiring other territories. In them acquiring other territories, they started importing already conditioned slaves from Saint-Domingue to train the new slaves, thus spreading the Creole language, thus bringing it to the other French territories. French-based Creole started with Haiti. Look for your fucking self. The earliest recognized French-based Creole emerged from the French colonies in the Caribbean in the late 17th and 18th century, with Haitian Creole being the prominent. It started with us. And before you be like, oh, it's AI, it's probably Wikipedia, go and look for yourself. Here's the fucking sources. Here are the sources. Y'all gonna tell me that the encyclopedia is wrong? Is that what you're gonna tell me? More sources, more fucking sources. Y'all gonna tell me that they all wrong too? The way that you people talk about Haiti, the way that Haiti is talked about, the way that Haitians are talked about, calling us poor, calling it the poorest country in the Caribbean. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about why that is, okay? Because first of all, you're talking about the country that is nicknamed Le Pearl des Antilles. That is the Pearl of the Antilles. The reason why I got that nickname is because
no. This is a whole 10-minute thing. It's a whole 10-minute thing. Haiti. It's a whole 10-minute thing. We don't have a whole 10 minutes to go on this. Let me tell y'all something. Okay? We're gonna make this very, very, very simple. Okay? We're going to make this very simple. It's very long. history, and you got to understand world history is very long. She is not incorrect. She is not incorrect with what she's saying. Haiti was a big factor in the Caribbean. Now, Haiti was not a factor in America, North America, but she is correct as far as Haiti being a factor in the Caribbean. So you have to think, let's ask this question, and then I got an answer for the question. Why, if Haiti is the factor of their success in the Caribbean, why has Haiti always been swept under the rug? Why has Haiti not had the success that we have had? What is the difference, the key cultural, follow my words, cultural difference between us as foundational Black Americans and why we've been able to make success and keep success unlike Haiti? What has, because Haiti has made great strides in success, more than any other Caribbean nation, okay, more than them. But there is a difference, really, think about it. There's a difference between why we've been able to take our success and push the needle further, and they've been able to take it and they got it and they could not keep it. Why? I asked this question a couple months ago, and I'm going to tell you guys why. Let me give you guys the answer as to why, okay? And this goes into one of our cultural boundaries. The cultural boundary that I said that we have is we have a cultural boundary of, when I said unity, we also have a cultural boundary or a taboo. Is really a taboo. Taboo is also the culture, because culture are things that you do and then that you don't do, what you allow and then what you don't allow. What you don't allow, okay? We don't allow sellouts in the community. Let me show you guys. I said this a while ago. Look at the screen. I want you guys to look at the screen because we're answering a very important question. Okay, I said important question. What is the African term, and that can go also for the Caribbean, that they refer their sellouts as? What is the African version of terms like Coon, Sambo, Uncle Tom, etc.? I also made one for the Caribbean, and they don't have one. Follow me. They don't have a term for coons and sellouts and things and that and whatever and ba da 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 da. Okay, they don't have that. That's the difference. Do you understand? Let me circle all this stuff back and let me lock this stuff in. The difference is that Haitians have sellouts. Foundational Black Americans have sellouts. The difference is what we do with that, how we handle that. Foundational Black Americans, we understood, hey, our sellouts are a problem for the group, so we got to push them out the group. We have to keep them as far away from us as possible. The Caribbean don't have a culture of that. Their sellouts live comfortably among the community. They don't have a word. Even in Africa, they don't have a word that they refer to their sellouts as, which is why when we say tether, they get so triggered because they're not used to that. They don't have a culture of calling out their sellouts, of not being a sellout, of ostracizing them. Do you think about it? That is the difference that has been able to make our progress go further than everybody else's. Because our sellouts, we will call them out and be all like, hey, him, don't say, we got a plan to escape the slave plantation. Don't tell John. John gonna go snitch to Massa. And I apologize if anybody in the chat room is named John. I'm not trying to talk about you. Just using an example. Don't tell John. We already know what John gonna be on. If we're gonna plot about getting out this plantation, we're gonna plot about turning this plantation over. We're gonna escape. We're gonna burn this plantation down. We can't tell John because John is gonna snitch. So we're gonna have meetings, and John ain't gonna be in a meeting. We've learned and like I said, adapting is also another part of our culture. We learned, hey, keep this information away from John. If we talking around John, we be cool. When we not around John, we coming up with the plan. So we've culturally kept people who are problematic outside of the group. We've ostracized people who needed to be outside of the group, who were a problem to the group. The diaspora doesn't do that. That is the difference. That's the key difference that's allowed us to be successful and then not. Okay? Because they'll allow their Johns or their Toms or whatever, they're Myrons. They'll allow them to live among each other. They'll allow a Kai Sanat. They'll allow a Myron Gaines. They'll allow a Candace Owens. They'll allow a Matt Nuclear. They'll allow a Brian Donalds. They'll allow a Obama. They'll allow that stuff. We culturally, we don't allow that. It's so much so that they got to trick us. We got to be tricked and fooled into it. They got to plant agents into our community. Like, for instance, when we talk about the Black Panther parties and stuff like that, they were planting agents. We didn't know. A lot of these people, they come up and we think that they cool. They don't openly denounce themselves as sellouts from the get-go. They got to sneak into our community, and then we got to find out the hard way. If we knew Obama wasn't going to do anything for black people, black folk wouldn't have voted for him. Black people voted for Obama under the assumption that he would. But Obama, if he was to be honest and let it be known, I'm not doing nothing for black people, I'm not going to look out for y'all, black people wouldn't have did that. He had to sneak in. Do you see that? But if we know for a fact what type of time you on, we not letting you in. Look at Kamala Harris. We learned that with Kamala. Kamala said, I'm not going to do anything for black people. No. Remember that? And we said, all right, okay, well, we already know what time you on. And because we know what time you're on, we're going to keep you out of our community. That's the difference. The only way you can affect our community, you got to sneak in. You got to plant some double agent, some spy in our community. You got to go undercover to get in our community. Because we don't allow all of that sellout. We don't allow that. They allow that. And that's what's been holding their success back. It's because they can't get rid of that problem. They had to sneak in with us, and now we even getting better with that. Now we not letting nobody even sneak in like that. We doing thorough paperwork checks. Everybody getting screened. Everybody. We checking everybody. We making sure everybody is up on the up and up. So we can't. We're even fixing the problem that we had, which wasn't even as severe as they had it. That's the difference. So when I tell you guys that what we're doing is correct, I want you guys to believe me. We are doing what we need to be doing because everybody else is starting to get it. Everybody else is starting to see it. Everybody else understands that. I said that this was going to happen because this is how the movement works. In the beginning, it's only going to be a few people who are going to stand 10 toes down and do what we need to do. But the rest are going to follow if the people who are standing 10 toes down, if they don't fold, if they don't acquiesce, if they don't cower, if they don't quit, if the people stand 10 toes down, everybody else will start falling in line. I already said that. That's how movements work. And now everybody else is starting to see that now. Now they're starting to call each other out. I knew that was going to happen too. I'll even call that. I called that some months ago. Let me show y'all this. I called that months ago. I said that was going to happen. Hold on. Let me pull this. Come on, man. Let me pull this clip up. You're causing a problem. I have to address this problem. It doesn't make me wrong or hateful. This is what needs to happen. This is what needs to happen. And a lot of y'all gonna suffer from it. And this is okay. This is okay. Because what's happening now, and like I said, this is happening. This is the perfect effect. Y'all thought this wasn't being effective. Now you're starting to see, and I've been saying this. Remember what I said? I said the Caribbean are going to start flipping on the Africans. I said that. Remember? Then what else I say? I said the women are going to start calling them out. I said first the Caribbean, then the women. Okay. Is that not what we just saw? Is that not exactly what we just saw? We just saw that. We just saw that. I said that was like a whole month ago. Maybe that was a whole month ago. We just saw that. That was before August. We're in September. I said, or that was during August in the very beginning or something. I think that was before August, honestly. I said that. Okay. I said, if we keep doing what we need to do, that's going to make them look at each other and be all like, actually, you know what? Getting rid of your sellouts actually is a good idea. I think we need to start doing that. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. That they're doing right now. Now you got panels where the Caribbeans are calling out Africans right now. That they're saying, hey, man, all of this Afro beats and stuff like that. Now you got this other Haitian being all like, hey, what she was doing, she was addressing other Caribbeans. She was all like, hey, why do Jamaica treat us like this? The Dominican Republic treat us like this. Trinidad treat us like this. We've been helping y'all out. Okay, now everybody's starting to circle their own wagons. I said that this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. This is how I know what we're doing is right. Because everybody else is starting to fall in line. I knew it. I knew it. Y'all pat yourself on the back. Let me give y'all an applause. Let me pull up the sound effects and give everybody a round of applause, family. Let me give y'all a round of applause. Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much, okay? Okay, thank y'all very much. Yeah, yes. Okay, give yourself a round of applause. We winning, y'all. And everybody, no matter if they don't agree with it or not, the people who are starting to disagree, they're getting quieter and quieter and quieter and quieter. All we got to do is keep on doing what we're doing because we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. Keep on doing what we're doing because we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. That's all we got to do. Focus on that. Stay on that. Stay on course. Okay? When they said delineating was xenophobic, when they said delineating was divisive, when they said delineating we just wanted to be more MAGA, they said it was MAGA. Oh, now y'all delineating. Oh, is that MAGA now? Oh, Amanda Seals is delineating. Oh, is that MAGA? Is Amanda Seals MAGA? Y'all said we was MAGA. Y'all said we was Russian bots for delineating. The same way y'all said we was Russian bots for asking for reparations. Now she up there asking for reparations. Is she a Russian bot? Is she a Russian bot? Oh, okay. I see it. I see it. It hurts in the beginning to be correct. But over time, it starts to pay off really well. Oh, yes. It starts to pay off really well, and you start to feel really good. Let me tell y'all something right now. I feel good. I feel good. I feel good. And I hope y'all feel good too. I hope y'all feel really good. Yeah, we were called the bad guys in the beginning. We were called xenophobic in the beginning. We were called divisive in the beginning. We were called all of these things in the beginning. And now everybody else is doing the same thing that they were calling us out for. And they're not calling us out no more because they realized we were right. I feel good. It's validating the validation that we need. It's the validation that we need. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of validation. Nothing wrong with that. We always knew we was on the right page anyway, but there's nothing wrong with that. Just nothing wrong with a double check and looking at the scoreboard and seeing your name at the top. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it. I like it. I love it. I love it. Get to some of these super chats real quick, man. All right now. Okay. Shout out to April. April says, FBA runs the yard. We do. We've been running the yard. Now everybody is running laps behind us. They a few laps behind, but they running now. They a few laps behind. They ain't catching up, but they running. It is what it is now. Everybody, yeah. I feel good. Y'all should too. Let me see. Hold on. Get to this. Why don't y'all get y'all content? Your Mia says, why don't y'all get y'all continent together? And we got to keep on that with that. We got to keep on with that, enforcing them. Y'all don't get to come over to nobody else's homeland and tell them what to do, how they need to be. Y'all got to get it together. Keep on with that. Don't let nobody bully you into being soft. Don't let nobody do that. Don't let nobody bully y'all, bully us into being soft. I'm not saying we got to be belligerent, because a lot of us are just naturally respectful, but don't be soft. You can be respectful and not be soft. That's not the same thing. All right. Don't be sitting up there scared to offend nobody. I'm very respectful. I'm a very respectful person, and I'm a very offensive person. Okay. I'm respectful and I'm also offensive. I can be respectful and I can say something that offends you. It's okay. I'm not scared to offend you. I'm not scared. Man, do you know how many people I offend? I offend a lot of people in a very respectful way. They can't really say nothing about it because I'm so respectful. Okay. They be tossing and turning like, damn, he's nice, but mean. Damn. They don't know what to say. You can be nice and you can be respectful and be very offensive. Be both. Okay. That's another part of our culture. We know how to do it in many different ways. Okay. We can be in many different ways. That way they can't call us no hate group. They can't call us no cult. Okay? We can't be a cult because you offended. That don't make us a cult because you offended. You sensitive. Put some shoes on. That's your fault. Okay? Jedi Sage says, South Africa is kicking out the Nigerian. Delta Airlines fired 500 Nigerians for scamming. That's true. They banned from most countries for scamming. And we gonna delineate and disaggregate, because y'all not gonna put that on black people the way y'all not gonna put that on us. Y'all not gonna sit up there and be all like, that's a black crime. No, we're not doing that no more. April again says, Afro is cooking on this broadcast. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much, sister. I appreciate that. And then I see this name. Okay, hold on. Ramili says FBA has a culture of creativity. We consistently create. We do. We are consistently creating and innovating and making new things. And shout out to Latrivia for the Cash App. I appreciate that too. Hold on. Yep, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that too. We the blueprint, and everybody ain't gonna get it in the beginning, but they gonna get it in the end, or they not gonna be here. That's just what it is. From now on, family, it's our way or the highway. Okay? And I don't feel bad if you took the highway. I don't feel bad. That's not smart. I wouldn't have did it. But if you take the highway, it's your prerogative. But either way, the car ain't gonna stop. The train gonna keep moving. You want to open up the door while this train is moving? Have at it. Jump out. Fine. Cool. That's great. Wish you the best. But the train don't stop for nobody. Our momentum doesn't stop for nobody. You can jump out this moving train if you want to. See what happened to you. Watch what happened to you. And I promise you, we're not going to hit the brakes and come pick your ass up. Okay? You either on board or you're off board. Don't do it to yourself. Family, I appreciate y'all. We've been on here. We've been cooking with grease tonight. I appreciate y'all on this Labor Day. Appreciate y'all. We've been putting in some work on this Labor Day. Thank y'all very much. Thank y'all so very much. All right. But that will conclude what we got to do. There's a war on our culture, but all we got to do is stand 10 toes, because we know what we're doing and we know what we are supposed to be doing. And we're keeping steady. Okay. We're standing firm. And that's our culture too. That's our culture too. All right. Our culture is progressive. Sorry, I can't see it all the way. Our culture is progressive. We can switch it up on a dime. Oh yeah. We can switch it up on it, and they don't see it coming. They don't see it coming. All right. They don't see it coming. It's cool. And that's what makes us unpredictable. For them not to see us coming, because one day we be on this, we be real respectful and real demure and all that, and then bam, we on 10 and we at them, and we just handling our business. It's a balance. It's a balance. It's a balance. All right. Hopefully y'all hit that like button, and if you guys have not subscribed yet, hopefully you guys do subscribe. Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell, so that way you don't miss out on anything that we got upcoming. Okay, don't miss out on nothing. Appreciate y'all, my brothers and sisters. Thank y'all very much for listening. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for everything that you all do. Thank y'all so very much. All right. If you guys support Black empowerment, then you guys hit that subscribe button and then leave a comment talking about how great our culture is. Let the haters know. Let the tethers know that we got the culture. We are the culture. In the comment section, let the tethers know that we are the culture. Let them know that. All right. Y'all stay blessed, family.